Welcome to Boxing Fans Talk TV. I'm your host, TDT. You can refer to me as Miss T. Well, y'all see the thumbnail. Breaking news. Bomac has been detained, or shall we say arrested, when he was across the pond on his way back home. We could have been talking about the Chris Eubanks fight. I heard he did well. Congratulations to him. But now this takes the cake. This is taking over everything because it has greater implications going forward. But, we're going to get into that and much more. But first, y'all know the drill. Let's turn to Welcome back to Boxing Fans Talk TV. I'm your host, TDT. You can refer to me as Miss T. And like I said, we're going to be talking about this Bomac situation. I do want to give a shout out to some of y'all who couldn't wait to get up in here. Glad to see you. General Big Fish is in the building with the Mac 10 on the side of his hip. Okay, and then we got Joe. Joe said it true. He's in the building. He said horrible news. Hope something can be done to get him back to the U.S. as soon as possible. Me too. Boxing Guy 7 is in the building. Was popping. He said, good evening, Miss T. And Joe said, standing by. But y'all know what I do at the top of my hour. I do the water check. Today, not as good. I don't know what got into me. I ain't really been drinking nothing. I'm trying to drink something now. It's almost like I don't want to drink today. I don't want a whole lot of liquids. I went and got some sweet tea and I still don't want to drink that. So I don't know. You win some, you lose some. But after all, tomorrow is another day. In my Vivian Lee voice. So when I wake up tomorrow, hopefully I'll have it straight. I do want to make a public service announcement. I've been looking at a lot of YouTubes here lately, and y'all fellas got to tighten up. A lot of the fellas keep talking with boogies in their nose. Come on now, get it together. You know we gonna see that shit. That's why they tell you, don't stand in a woman's line when you're trying to do a crime. Bars. But don't stand in a woman's line like if you robbing a bank or something, because we observing, we see everything. I mean, I can't even get through the damn lecture or whatever he trying to say. And I really wanted to listen to it. He got this big old boogie in his nose. Come on, y'all. Check. Don't y'all carry mirrors? That's why some of y'all need a man purse. That's what it is. But anyway, quarter check, getting back to the water. So we feel like 2023, we should know going forward, nobody should be dehydrated ever. Nobody. You drink water winter, summer, spring, and fall. We going into the fall. It's Virgo season right now. Where my Virgos at? But you know what? It's starting to cool off. That don't mean you decreasing your water take. We feel that every adult should be able to drink at least a gallon of water. That's 128 ounces. But here at Boxing Fans Talk TV, we know a lot of people ain't into water, so we say at least shoot for 100. Hell, if you got 90 ounces of water in you that day or 96, you winning. You still winning. So drink your water, And if you're not a big water, just at least twice during the day you have to. And that's first thing in the morning when before your toes hit the ground, before you get up in your morning routine. Think of your body as an engine, your water is the lube, and you want things to move in a timely and efficient manner. Drink your water. It should be on the nightstand. We talking a little bit. We just talking 8 ounces. And then, just think of it like your body about to do some work because you up and about. You want things to move along. That's water gonna help all that. So the second time is at night before you go to bed, though. So after you get out your shower, you throw your jammy jams on, and you don't go to sleep right away. It is at this time that the American Heart Association agrees that you should drink your water, and they really talking about a cup of water. A cup of water is 8 ounces, y'all. So have it on a nightstand again. Whatever floats your boat as to what makes you drink water. I got all kinds of mechanisms. I got the mini fridge because I like my water ice cold. I buy Sonic Ice, them little slushy balls, and I fill up my container with the ice, and then I, fill it up with water. And I notice, man, I can go through this container I have. It's probably like a 25 or 30 ounce container, right? I fill it up with ice, and I swear I might drink like 10 or 11 of them. I don't know, because I fill it up and I drink it, and before you know it, I'm at the end. I'm like, ain't no more water. Got to go back to the cooler. I also have a cooler in the house, in my room. So, I put 5 ounce cups up there. And every time I go over there, if I grab the cups, because my cooler dispenses hot water, cool water, and cold water. So I fill a cup up with it, sit there, drink it. I be like, nah, that ain't enough. I need another one. Drink it again. Nah, that ain't enough. Before I know it, I done drunk like 4 or 5 cups. I only need 20 a day to reach the benchmark of 100 ounces. So drink up your water, and at night, your body do more work at night than it ever do during the daytime when you up and about. If you're in the gym and all that, your body in a deep sleep does more work, more than you know, and you can't even feel it. That's how perfect your body is. And so you do a lot of reads, revamping, rebooting, recharging, redirecting, recreating, rehealing, just all kinds of things going on. And that's why the average person burns between 900 to 1,000 calories at night in a deep sleep. Not a cat nap, but a deep sleep. So you want to drink your water because you want things to move along in a timely and efficient manner. So, chug a little chug, drink up your water. Try to reach that benchmark every day. And if you can't do it, like today wasn't my day, but as I always say, after all, tomorrow is another day. And my Vivian Lee voice. Destiny Black is in the building. What's popping? She said, hey, sissy in chat. She said, that like button. Indeed, hit the like button on your way in. I come on every day, Monday through Friday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's Monday through Friday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Unless I'm doing something or unless I ain't got nothing to talk about, hit the like, share, subscribe button. If you've never been here before, hit that subscribe button. But if you've been here before, don't you touch that dial. I got you locked in. I got you. If you want to leave a comment, statement, or question, please do so on the replay. I get back with you. We be chopping it up all the time. Or you can leave it at boxingfanstalk@gmail.com. That's boxingfanstalk@gmail.com. You can leave a statement, question, or whatever. I chop it up with you there. That's my email. And that lovely thing on the side, the Cash App, Boxing Fans Talk TV. That's Boxing Fans Talk TV. I be looking at that like, I be seeing y'all. I be seeing y'all cheating on me. I be seeing y'all at other channels cash apping the fool out of these people, eating up all the hog maws and the pig feet. I want some hog maws. I want some pig feet. You know, embrace, jump on it, dance on that thing. Boxing Fans Talk TV. That's the cash app. All proceeds go back into the channel. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart for all the past proceeds and the present that may come and the future that may come. But do hit that cash app. YouTube is doing me a number. I don't know why YouTube decided to make life harder for me, but they are. They don't count none of my views. They don't count nothing. And I've written them and everything. They haven't written back. I can't tell you why they do what they do. But so in the meantime and in between time, all I can do is monetize by Cash Apping. So please don't be afraid of Cash App system. Everything helps. Now, let me get into this Bomac thing. So my friend who's a Spence sexual, he know who he is. Good friend of mine, love him to death. But he's a Spence sexual. And you know, Spence sexuals, they suffer from one major thing called delusion. Oh, they got it bad. They got delusion bad. So whenever he sends me something to tell me a heads up or this, that, and other, my first thought is not to believe him. Because I know he got hate in his heart for anything Bud Crawford. So then they come out and say Brian McIntyre was arrested. First he said detained, now is arrested or whatever. He had his arraignment, I guess, this today. And he will he don't go to court until the 9th. So he has to sit there and wait. Now, a lot of you out there might not travel the world, but for those of us who travel the world, we know prison systems overseas ain't what you want. Because you are used to being an American. You don't know shit about being no other country. So I don't care what country it is. I don't care how advanced those countries are. One thing they don't do, and this seemed to be the way of most countries outside of the United States, as well as third world countries, they do not coddle their prisoners. Let me repeat that. They don't coddle their prisoners. But we have an expectancy, a way of living. As Destiny would say, we got a social construct over here in America. We are expected to have certain privileges and things that such that they don't put that on their prisoners over there. You lucky if you get a bed to sleep on and 3 meals. And I'm talking meals because there are some countries, I'm not talking third world, but it seems like they take a page out of the third world country book. I can tell you in Spain, if you don't have nobody who love you enough to come visit you and bring you certain things, you go without. It is what it is. You go without. You know, Thanksgiving come, they ain't trying to fix you no good ass meal. They not trying to have an entree, 2 sides, something to drink, or two different things of something to drink, maybe some soda and water, and fresh rolls every day, and a dessert, which is the ideal complement of any basic cafeteria. And we know prisons have cafeterias. I was going to call it a galley. That's the Navy in me. My bad. But overseas, they don't. They can give you bread and water, and you will be fine. They can give you porridge every day, and you will be fine. They don't have to have air conditioning. Again, I'm going to talk about Spain because that's the country I actually went into the prison to see what was up, because I had I had this guy, he kept breaking in my car every night. He was still stupid shit. Like I could leave a wad of hundreds in my console in the middle. He won't even touch that, but he'll take every loose coin I had in there, a teddy bear, especially if it had the tag on it, CDs, especially if they had the case. He'll hit me up every fucking night. But what they did was, and I didn't know the law over there, they broke my car door locks. Because in Spain, I don't know if it's still the same way, y'all. I went there in 94 to 96 and 2000 and 2002. So I lived over there a total of 4 years, different times. But back then, if you leave your shit unlocked, it meant you invited the person in. You can't claim that somebody stole something from you when you didn't lock it up. That was their rule. I was in my house and my friend, shout out to Tracy Bowler, he was coming, I guess he was coming by the house, and he kept honking the horn, I didn't know who car it was. I'm in my house. So finally I said, who is keep honking? So I stepped on my balcony and it was him. And he said, you know this dude? And he had his hand on the door and the guy was in the inside of his hand. He caught him, bending over knee deep in the driver's side. He said, you know this dude? And the dude was begging. Like, I swear to God, he was begging. Even in tears, like, please, senor, please, please. Like, he was begging. And I said, no. He said, oh, he was all up in your car. I said, that does it. Because I have been getting robbed for little penny handy shit. I learned how to keep stuff out the car, but I know they come in the car any and every time. I start wondering, was some of them sleeping in the car? But I got tired because I know they broke my locks so that they could do that. So I said, I got to make an example out of this dude. And I said, you broke my locks. Because I by that time I learned the law. He said, no, senorita. I mean, he was adamant. No, I did not break the locks. I'm like, yes, you did, nigga. Yes, you did. He broke the locks that day. So I was going to I went to the police station. We got him over there. I can't remember if they came and got him or we took him over there. Because he won't go do nothing to Tracy. You know what I'm saying? And we get him over there. Of course, they take him in the back. And I'm starting to look at the conditions. And I said, I told my story. And they said, okay, senorita. And they said, you could come back, sign papers or some shit. I never did go back. Because some of them jails look like the jail cells are wide open and all them shit. Like it was rusted in concrete. Like the bars could be, jimmied off if you had a horse pulling on wood tying the rope to it or something. I don't know, but just something about the conditions of the jail, and I just couldn't do it. So I never did go back. I don't know what happened to him. I don't think, I was supposed to sign some stuff and I didn't sign it. But my point is, I started asking around, how does their jail system work? And jail systems over there, they don't call you. So I'm saying all that shit as I'm hearing Brian McIntyre, the trainer of Bud Crawford, being arrested in the UK while trying to fly back to the States, but having a possession of a firearm. It is simple to me, meaning if he had the gun in his possession, I would question why. But at the same time, if that's what he did, then Bomac got to pay the price. I wouldn't coddle him. I hate this for that whole team. I hate this for Bomac. But my common sense got to kick in too. Got to kick in. So I have a bunch of questions. Did he know or understand the laws of weapons carrying while flying, especially out of the country? I think he did. Who don't know it? Name me one of us that would get on a plane with a gun. When we all know the marshals, they fly on every flight. We know that too. So who brave enough to go through our TSA with a gun? You can't even go through TSA with a pocket knife or a goddamn bottle opener or a damn lighter, not alone a gun. Who the fuck? Everybody knows that. And he 53. Bomac is not stupid. So I think he knows the laws in and out. And plus, we think about everybody who got guns, think about, ooh, I'm about to go see my friend up in Tennessee. I'm about to go see my friend in Cali. I'm about to, wherever you about to go if you driving, you always check the gun laws. I'm Gucci in my state, but am I Gucci in the state next to me? I want to know when I'm carrying my two Nina and Santa Maria, are we gonna get pulled over and have problems? And if I don't want no problems, what I gotta do? How many people know about concealed carry permits? Everybody in America know about that shit. Bomac lives a legitimate, decent life. He ain't gotta be out there breaking laws. Destiny said, "Child, Bomac in England, their prison system is 1,000 better than ours. Most Western European country jails are not not luck clubs. They better and they not though, in my opinion, Destiny. They don't coddle like whatever you used to in America, you have a problem with. If you hardcore American and you won't ever know that unless you leave the country, you're gonna have a problem. You're gonna have a problem with being in jail over there. Now every country can be different. I just told y'all about my experience in Spain. But I've been in England and all that, and from what they tell us is that it's just simple. There's a simple prison. It's not all the hoopla. Like you got to be on your P's and Q's. If I wanted to be what you call it a guard person in prisons in America, I have to think twice about that. It's corruptions with guards. Their life could be in danger. It's too much shit these prisoners be into. And things that they got to worry about. Well, over there, you do your time and you get the fuck out. One could argue over here, how does some of these prisons, how does sending people to jail actually rehabilitate people? Unless you rehabilitate it off the muscle, or how my sister said, off the dick, like the fact that they close the bars can make a motherfucker get rehabilitated. But some people hard-headed. But over there, they do rehabilitate. More so than here. And I ain't saying they ain't got no crazy motherfuckers over there. They got their ups and downs too. But it's like way different than here. She said that it sound funny how he traveled with a gun and not stop, but fly back with one. Something don't smell right. And that's what I'm saying. I asked a lot of questions. So first and foremost, when you're a gun carrying person, you learn about the laws of where you're going to be with your gun. You always do. Anybody worth their weight in gold will learn about the laws of where they are. You know, you just will. So you got that. That means he would have known whether or not he could fly out with it. If he flew out through Atlanta, because his flight was going back to Atlanta. I didn't know Atlanta was one of the biggest airports in the world. One of the biggest. But if he flying back to Atlanta, the same way you flew out, you can have problems with that too, even though Georgia is a Republican state right now. And, you know, the Republican states, they like relaxed ass laws with guns. They ain't got that goddamn relaxed. You ain't rolling up at the airport with a gun. I know that you can fly with one, but you got to be willing to check that bitch in and do some paperwork. And I ain't know that all my life. I've known that in the last 10 years because I had a surgery and I had a homeboy to come to help take care of me when I had my surgery. And he flew from Texas to here and he brought all his guns. And I was like, how you get on the plane with that? He said, oh, you can do that. I didn't know. But we supposed to believe that some kind of way that Bomac was able to get past the TSA agents when you first coming in there back where you board the plane. He was able to get past them, and his bags was able to get past the screening the first time around. And then you got to go through customs and all that stuff. Somehow or another, he makes it over there. I mean, when you go through customs, when he get there and all that stuff. But if he got the gun over there, then you have to believe who he took with him or who he knows over there that got to connect to go find him a gun. Because it ain't no gun store. They don't have Second Amendment rights like we do in the States. Matter of fact, I don't want to say it's an absolute, but to my knowledge, in the UK, unless you're a cop or somebody who job it is to have a gun, ain't no guns. They don't play with that. They don't care about you having a gun and your Second Amendment right. Most, I say 80% of the people over there ain't got a gun. Yeah, they'll trip if you have a serrated knife. That's why they got them those games where the guys beat up each other and shit in the pub. Well, shit, I can't get mad at that. They live to fight another day. But ain't no guns like talking about over there. You never hear it. You'll never hear it. If they gonna kill you, they get up on you and do it old fashioned way. But not the punk ass way, like shoot you and be riding off at the same time, or shoot you and run off. You know what I'm saying? So who hooked him up? Bomac wouldn't know where to go. Nobody from America would know where to go. And you think anybody coming from over here is gonna meet somebody over there? They're gonna be like, yeah, let me show you where we keep our stash. And it ain't gonna happen. He only there for a hot second for the Eubanks fight. So he went to the press conference and the fight. What did he need a gun for? Who was he tripping on? What gun could he have gotten over there that he can't get here? When you start asking all them type questions, it's like Destiny said, it don't smell right. But my friend, who's a Spence sexual, he said, I'm gonna read what he said. Let me see, because I don't wanna maybe I took him wrong, so I'm reading it for the second time. He said, damn dog, Bomac arrested in the UK airport for handgun and ammunition without a license or permit, facing up to 5 years in prison. Damn. In jail now, goes in front of the judge October 9th. Damn, son gonna sit a whole month before learning his fate. 5 to 14 years. Damn. I don't know if he happy or not. I ain't gonna say he happy. But when he sent it to me, I was like, for your fellow American, you should be upset. Like, I'm like, this gotta be some bullshit. And I ain't one to quick to say, don't hold nobody accountable, because y'all know I'm all about holding motherfuckers accountable. But I look at it like, what's the purpose of all this? And who benefits? Why would somebody want this done? Who benefits? Who gets hurt? You can look at it from that point of view too. If this is the best boxing year that Bomac was gonna have, he's been ignored because he's not the popular guy. He's been ignored. So, he should have been got awards and recognized as a great trainer, but he's been ignored. Sometimes people judge you by your outside shell. You've heard, even in the Spence camp, how bad they pick on him about his weight. I'm not saying Spence and them had nothing to do with it, but I'm just saying, Bomac about his weight and talk about him in public like he has no value, like he's not a whole person or a whole man out here. When people stop valuing you, that's when they don't give a fuck about what they do to you. Everything is on the table at that point. That's why it's important to make good connections and have a family and settle down with a family. Because when you're not important to nobody, you are a big ass target for everybody. That's just how it is. Bomac is important. He's an integral part of Team Crawford. He's known Crawford probably since Miss Deborah was carrying Crawford in her womb. Because the way he talked about it, like he knew the family for a long time. They knew his dad. They definitely knew Crawford since he was a little boy. So he got this multi-million-dollar fighter that's really all with him. I ain't gonna say all his, but pretty much all his. He got Crawford from the mud. They had each other from the mud, along with Red and Esau. Esau, I think that's how you say his name. All of these Team Crawford and all the other people that add to Team Crawford. Bomac is one of the main ingredients of what you see when Crawford steps in the ring. He got a high paycheck. All of them did with this last fight that Crawford, because I heard they made between 20 and 30 million. I don't know what the number is, but everybody got a nice chunk of change, I'm sure. Then I think Keyshawn gonna have a fight coming up. Shakur's granddaddy trained him, give him his props, but he worked with Team Crawford a lot, so Bomac has some influence there. Who else? Crawford's got the rematch coming up, and then beyond that, Jamel Charlo or hopefully Canelo Alvarez, if that's what Crawford really wanted. Why would Bomac, who stands to make millions with everything I just said, why would he throw that away just to have a gun? He wasn't even over in UK that long to be toting the gun. And like I said, if Bomac come back and say, hey, look, I made a mistake. I took my suitcase that we had down there in Colorado, because I think they drove down there and drove back to Omaha, then flew to Vegas. But if he said, I just grabbed the suitcase, shawty, and just flew over there with it, I won't even think it. Then we need a training time out in Atlanta airport then. It needs to be some more training, some TSA training, some marshal training, some everybody training. Because how you let that mother get that gun up out of here? Because one thing you cannot sell me on, Bomac did not go to England and buy no gun. You can't sell that. It's highly impossible for that to have happened. If he had a gun, it had to come with him when he flew over there. And if it came with him, how the fuck did Atlanta airport drop the ball? Oh, yes, I'm with somebody else who said some people will be getting sued. Some people will be getting sued. I'm sure that Bomac will have the best legal representation. Crawford and them do have plugs with a lot of big highfalutin people. Warren Buffett is Crawford's good friend, and I'm sure they know a lot of people, this, that, and the other, that they can help influence the UK to either drop the charges or let them come home or whatever. But when I say what's the purpose and who does this hurt, of course it hurts Team Crawford. We about to go into a rematch. The guy said we, like I'm Team Crawford. We about to go into a rematch, and you don't have the main ingredient with you. Bomac do this thing when he wear that thing, and Crawford hitting his stomach, kind of like Nate did for Floyd. But then he hold that medicine ball up on the side. The weirdest shit, but I think it means something. Even when he be walking in front of Crawford with the noodle, but he not moving it, but every now and then. Whatever his strategies are, or whatever he be talking about, they a team that gel together. They mesh well together. So, him being over there, all his family and friends are going to be worried about him. Number one. And then they still got to carry on because the rematch is coming. Is Crawford going to be in his right frame of mind? And was that the purpose? I don't know. Because the people who mad that he won, they hot fire mad. Destiny said, I meant most Western European countries are jails. Our joy. Yeah, that's federal and international laws. So hopefully they can use their connections. But I'm telling you, if he did it, if he just made a mistake, it's a mistake he gotta learn from. He gotta learn from it. And a lot of people can learn from it because it should teach anybody who's thinking about going overseas what not to do. But if you look into the gun carrying laws when you cross the state lines and you don't carry guns on flights that you fly back and forth here in America, and Bomac is 53 years old, he ain't no young dude, he ain't into that criminality life, it tells me right there he was set up. And the gun was loaded. And he checked the bags in early. He was set up. Ain't no telling. It probably won't in his bag. It probably was somebody set up and had access to the bags and put it and said they found it in there. There's no way, possibly. And anybody who's jumping for joy or cutting the jig, like Spence fans or anything, you guys wrong for that. If y'all happy about it, I'm just saying. And so far, I haven't seen that. You know, I've seen some Spence channels actually feel the way that I feel, and I would feel that way about anybody. If that was Derrick James, I would feel that way. I was like, I know Destiny always call him Slow James, but even Slow James, he wouldn't do no shit like that. Ain't nobody that crazy to do no shit like that. Cruz Banter is in the building. What's poppin', King? He said he's been to the UK before, so I think he knows the rules. Something ain't right. Yeah, there's no reason. He will literally, y'all saying a 53-year-old man who y'all love to talk about how out of shape he is, because everybody knows when you really out of shape and he's really obese, you ain't got time for that fiddle daddle. You ain't running around breaking the law. You ain't doing all these magical trips, jumping out of this and jumping. You ain't got time for that. You lucky if you can get up and move from point A to point B. Now, he went over there in the nick of time for the fight. He won't like he was staying over there for no long period of time. Chris Eubanks trained over here in the States and went back over there. He ain't trying to go to all the big pubs and everywhere all over England. So he went to the final press conferences and then went to the weigh-ins and then went to the fight. So what he need a gun for? You ain't guarding the door. All this stuff, when you start thinking about the man, 53 years old, he made millions, I'm sure, at least his cut for Terence Crawford by now. That's his cash cow. And then you got other people that works with him. People are picking him, other fighters who already been out there coming to him, and we watching how their game improved. Even if they don't win, we watch how their game improve. You know how awkward it is for him to probably have to get on the plane in the first place? He's probably got to pay, and I'm not saying this as a joking matter, he probably got to pay for 2 seats. 2 seats. I don't care how rich you are, that type of shit will make me mad. That's it, said right, Cruz. Mike Jones is in the building. He said Bomac was framed. See, Mike Jones is a Spence fan. He said the same thing I say. I'm just putting these Spence fans on notice because I can't tell if my friend was happy about that or not. It just don't make sense, y'all. And and I'm gonna throw the race card in. Black people ain't dumb. This notion, we have already proved that, when for years and years and years, in the 70s, 80s, 90s, and even down today's, You'll have somebody commit a crime and they said the black man did it. Police waste all their resources and they go try to look for this mystical black man. White women used to blame black men for a lot of things. Oh, they took my kids, they killed my, all this stuff. Again, you're looking for somebody that don't exist. And then, but if you go further back in the beginning of the 20th century, that was said then too. So if they couldn't find the person quite catching a red-handed, any man would do. And the reason I say that is because you can't say that nowadays, about people. You can't. Black people, contrary to what people think, we already know what y'all would say to get us in trouble. Like if you say he reached for his license fast, I thought he was getting a gun. And this explains why all these unarmed black guys get shot by being pulled over for a speeding ticket or something. Guess what? Black people hear that and they be like 10-2. I'm putting my hands 10-2 on the steering wheel. I ain't taking them shits off. Sir, can I reach over to my right, 3 degrees to my right? Man, be specific as hell. 3 degrees to my right in the downward bubble and reach in my glove box and grab my registration. On the count of 3. 1, a 2, a 3. I'm reaching. I'm going at a rate of 0.06 microseconds. I mean, that's how black people gonna be, because we already heard 5 other niggas got shot because they was reaching for their license. So we can't do that. A lot of shit we can't do and we won't do, because we keep hearing that it end in fatal consequences. So you think Bomac ain't on that type of time? He a black man in America. He know better. Tay said, Errol Spence planted the gun. Destiny said, laugh out loud. Bye, Tay. Tay said, them aerosexuals set him up. I saw him in the TSA. Somebody set him up for sure. There's an interview of Bomac on YouTube where he talks about getting robbed in the UK last time he was there, and he says that ain't happening again. I'll try to find the video. I heard about that too, Joe, but I think he hired security. But see, this is the thing. Yeah, a lot of, and look, it's one thing to ride dirty in your country. It's another thing to ride dirty in another person's country. You just ain't gonna do that, shawty. You don't know the ramification, the consequences, how things work. Can't nobody be that dumb. If I said I ain't gonna get caught again, you got me once, but you won't get me again. Guess what? I'm gonna have security out the yin yang, and he can afford it. I'm only going to where I need to go, the press conference and whatever. And if you want to rob my fat ass and take my extra large 3X shirts, then by all means, because that's all I'm gonna have on me. Some poor shit. If you want it, you can have it. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna do a lot of things to prevent a robbery. I don't think Bomac that dumb though. That's when he said, laugh out loud. Yay for me spitting or my soda. Spitting out my soda. Why you spitting out your soda? Tell you not yet. So he gonna have the best legal representation, I guarantee you. Now there was a rumor mill that started before, and notice how I said rumor. Errol Spence was gonna get rid of Slow James, as Destiny like to affectionately call him, a term of endearment. Slow James, and well, we know that Charlo did it. He just didn't make headlines about it. We know he know how to keep his mouth closed when he want to, and then act a plain fool when in the other times. But he didn't say what he really did. That new guy that worked with him. See, you can only serve one master. when you get to the point where people name you trainer of the year and they think you all that in the bag of chips, you got your one fighter that you just really keened in on. Everybody else getting a portion of you. And sometimes people might want to feel like they getting you, like, can you give me that special attention or treatment like you doing to everybody else? And Charlo recognized when it was just Charlo and Errol that Derek James couldn't do that. So he went and got somebody else. Derek James' model of plow right through, wasn't working on Castano the first time. This new guy brought in the boxing. I just watched that Castano 2, that Castano Charlo fight number 2. That bitch, that was a nice fight. That was an excellent fight. Charlo did his thing. I seen a couple of mistakes, like his leg. I don't like how they stance. Their stance, but Charlo was a complete boxer that night. And he handled his business. And you got to thank that guy that he hired out of Dominican Republic. He gonna be with Charlo whenever he getting ready for the Bud fight. It ain't gonna be that simple, Bud. But I still got Bud winning. Now, like I said, who does this hurt? This whole Bomac thing. It hurts the whole team, Team Crawford. It's not like they ain't got nothing to do. Their rematch is already set. Time is ticking. You know what they said this last fight? They did a pre-camp in Vegas for a month at this MMA center. And then they went and did a camp in Colorado where they normally go. I don't want this to be half-ass mentally, half-ass physically when we talk about Crawford's training camp. Because to me, if you don't perfectly train as best you can, that can be the deciding factor of whether you win or not. Errol Spence lost because he wasn't trained properly, and he don't got skills to match Crawford. You know, if Crawford is mentally not there because his mentor, his ace Bukun Bomac, is over there in some prison, and they over here worrying, you can't say don't worry. He known him since he was a little boy. Kind of like his second dad. Crawford got a lot of bonus dads over there. Bomac is one of them. Tay said Errol Spence just took his dentures out and pretend to be British. Mike Jones said Bomac shouldn't have packed his luggage. He rich enough to buy his clothes when he get to England. I mean, hindsight 2020, Mike Jones. Maybe next time when they go there, they'll tell him, don't pack, like mail off everything that they need so it's sealed before it gets there, you know. But as far as taking anything, if you can't take it on the plane, don't take it at all. He said, word on the street, they robbed Bomac for a new brand. See, look, see how they do? See, I ain't even gonna finish that. Cruz Banter said, even if he got robbed here in the UK before, why would he be trying to take the gun back to the US? Exactly. I would have threw that thing in the Thames River. I hope as Cruz, am I pronouncing that correctly? Because you said it sound like you in the UK. You said here in the UK. So I mean, the Thames is spelled like THAMES. I would have threw that mug up in that river with the quickness, or that channel. It's a channel. The guns in the UK are terrible compared to what is available in the US. And plus, where would you go to get them? Bomac can be as rich and clever as he wants to. He ain't gonna never know that. Not in a couple of days he was there. Let me tell you what he's standing to lose. All the wars that could be heaped upon him in the coming year. Bomac could be up for SB. He could be up for trainer of the year, but you ain't gonna get none of that with no criminal record, especially an international criminal record. He could lose clients because he can't serve them. If you're a person like Eubanks that do most of his fighting overseas, Bomac can't go over there. Then what you gonna do? Not to mention the health risk. They're not going to feed Bomac the way he's accustomed to eating. And in the beginning, that might hurt. Everybody's like, well, he needed. I mean, you can look at it like a silver lining, like this might be good for him in the long run. Because I'm going to tell you right now, he going to lose some weight. Even if he know he's innocent, he's going to lose some weight. It's because of how they feed them and what they put. They don't do a lot of processed food neither. Not like us. So he might get healthier. He might not. The shock of it all, there is a such thing as sugar withdrawals. His mentality, his mental might be fucked up. Sometimes shit can happen to you and it's traumatizing, and you never get over it. I'm traumatized by being sick, to the point that y'all don't know this, but it got to the point where I was scared to go outside in these last years. Like literally, I would go, but I was scared. Why would I be scared to go outside? What's gonna happen to me? That's why my cars have hardly any miles on it, because my car can sit in the driveway for 2 weeks. 2 weeks I ain't stepped outside. Why? Because I got tired of going into the ER. And every time I go in there, they said, what did you do? What did you eat? And I'd be like, I don't know. And now I'm racking my brain because it got to be something that I did, but I don't know what I did. So how about I just stay inside? I got scared of a lot of shit. And now I'm so people be laughing. Like my guy friend, he said, you got to get out and stop just going places, doing stuff. Everybody tell me that. And I have been in the last months or so. I have been. It's baby steps. But that mental, like I said, you can develop phobias and you can catch feelings. And look, the jails ain't got to be the cleanest and pristine. I don't know what you used to, but they ain't got to be all that. You know what I'm saying? They ain't got to accommodate for his size. He gonna go through it. Let me tell you. Crawford can be mentally affected. This could shake their foundation. Bomac got businesses or business dealings back home. This could mess all that up. And his inability to ever leave the country, especially, he could be banned from the UK forever. See, Tyson Fury just got banned from the US not that long ago. But why do he care? Because it doesn't matter where he go. He living the rich life. But it'd be one thing if he was living a dirt poor life over there in England, and the only time he got a reprieve is when he came to the States. What if they froze all his assets and everything in England, but we didn't freeze it over here? Don't you think he'd be wanting to come over here? He left open-ended fucking situations when he left. He had a house. He ain't never properly closed on that house. Sold it and closed that out. He ain't properly closed out none of his business dealings or personal whatnots here in the States. We just banned him. General Big Fish said he needed. He don't need that, General. He said, I've heard former airport security tell his story of how they allowed you to get the gun to New York because they know the consequences are more severe there. They take it as a joke. Nah, I don't know. I don't know about that. Like, Atlanta ain't gonna be the one. It's too. Atlanta is an international airport and it's huge. And they can't fuck around. I thought Chicago O'Hare Airport was big. They said Atlanta big as shit. I was like, oh, it's all right. But shit, apparently I've been in 1/5 part of the damn airport. I ain't seen all 5 parts or something. He said they wait to arrest you once you take that flight. But think about it, Big Fish. If he took the gun over there, he was there a couple of days, so they gonna wait around. They don't know why he's bringing this gun into their country, and they just gonna keep watch over him to make sure he ain't blowing up shit and doing God knows what for a couple of days or a week that he was there. And then there's like, I know we'll catch him on his way back. That don't even make sense. That don't make sense. Because he didn't get caught going to, he's getting caught coming back. It's the most shocking news. He said O'Hare used to be the busiest airport in the world. Yes, Lord. Now, see, I walked through O'Hare, and I think that's a big ass airport. Everything about O'Hare, I'll be like, man, it's a city in itself. I don't never think that when I come through Atlanta. But yet they say it's one of the biggest airports in the world. But I'm gonna drop this link. Y'all can chime in and tell me what y'all think or whatever. But I'm gonna go on record and say I think it's a setup. Then Bomac come back and say, yeah, that was my luggage. I just grabbed the luggage that we had from Colorado. I never did unpack. Because I do that too. If I fly out somewhere and come back with my luggage, man, it could be 2-3 weeks later, my luggage still unpacked. I don't know why I do that shit, but I do that too. So it's possible. It's possible. I'm not saying it's not possible, but I highly doubt it. We talking about a sane man, a man with some common sense, a smart, articulate man. This man ain't dumb. He's 53 at that. He ain't no young pooper scoop, you know. He ain't out there trying to do the whoop. This man's grown ass man. Too old for that shit. You know he ain't getting around like no young boy neither. Fuck nah. All I can say is going forward with Crawford, Team Crawford, whoever all y'all may be, you better be on your P's and Q's, because if they set him up, they'll set y'all up too. First thing you do is you destroy a person's credibility, and that's how you destroy them. And that's what the play I see, because you're going to destroy his credibility by him being arrested internationally and having a gun and breaking a common law. Like, they don't even allow their citizens to get guns. Now, how the fuck you as an American go come over here and get a gun? Like, that just don't make sense. Yeah, they trying to destroy him. Also, I want to say on the Canelo and Charlo undercard, you got Jesus Ramos versus Lubin. That might be cool. Ugas versus Barrios. Nobody asked for that, but that might be cool. Elijah Garcia versus Armando Resendez. So me personally, I'm gonna try to find a way to get the damn Canelo fight, but I ain't paying for it. I can't pay for that shit. I mean, it's Charlo and all that, but I've already paid for the fight I wanted to pay for. I mean, I wasn't really asking for Canelo and Charlo. And I told you I really wanted Charlo. Charlo and Crawford. But I said I can't be mad at Charlo for going up there to try to fight Canelo, because he can gain a lot of good stuff from fighting that man. And I'm not gonna say dare to be great, because it's two ways I look at that fight. The link is in the chat, y'all. Either Charlo know he gonna lose, or he really do believe he think he got a chance. But what we do know is that gonna be a fat ass check. That gonna be some moolah, baby. Talk about the money. Talk about the moolah, y'all. Yeah, that's Charlo. I feel like busting loose, busting loose. Charlo doing a money grab too. They see the writing on the wall. That days is number. I mean, that like, it's kind of like I describe Derek James and how he trains his fighters. It's a type of way to train it. I mean, it's workable. It works for them for how long it did. But I look at it like it's one of the things. It's a young man's game. Once you get some age on you, hell no. Destiny Black is in the building. What's popping?
What's up, ma'am? Um,
Um,
Missy, like when I first, somebody, I forgot who was the first saw that reported that.
hold on. Lower your voice a little because it's like you're yelling.
Oh, okay.
Just a little.
I think
Just a
my finger
little.
was on something. Oh
No,
no,
it's sometimes like I don't know if you own it. I don't know how to gauge it because I don't even know how I sound to you guys. But if you yelling, it's like your voice get muffled, so we're not really hearing all of
no,
it.
my finger was on the
Uh,
thingy.
okay.
No, but yeah, when I first, I forgot who I first saw report that Bomac was in jail for toting a gun or whatever in England. That didn't even make much sense to me. I'm like, why would he take a gun over there in England when they can hire bodyguards and all the other kind of stuff, you know? And guns, the gun laws over there in England is really strict. The cops don't even carry guns over there, so it doesn't even. That's not his first time in England, so that doesn't. It didn't make much sense to me. Um, something don't smell right. I'm not sure if it has something to do with the little beefy boy taking that L or somebody
Well,
that's doing some funny stuff. Whatever the case may be, it ain't right. Now, like you said, if it's a thing like, oh, we just grabbed a suitcase, I can see how that will happen. But I just find it very hard to believe, with going through customs and everything, they wouldn't catch it the first trip going over there. And, him being in his suitcase, because he was over there for 4 weeks, he didn't see that he had a gun and was like, oh, let me do something with it, just nothing about this situation sounds right. So you can't tell me that he didn't. So what was he doing? Then he just had a suitcase with, he wasn't showering or nothing, wearing the same outfit for 4 weeks. I find that hard to believe. Something just don't sound right. We'll find out though. You think they're gonna keep him over there for the till October 9th? Missy? Hello.
I'm sorry. My mute was on
Oh, okay.
because I was over here coughing.
Oh, okay.
They gonna they gonna give him due process. Most of our laws and how we set up come from over there anyway. But so they gonna give him a fair shot. He got a reign today, what we would call a reign today,
Mm-hmm.
and then on the 9th is when his first court date.
But do you think they're gonna keep him there until October 9th? I don't see
Yeah,
that.
well, that's what. Well, he ain't left. He got a
Well,
reign
no, I know
today.
he ain't left yet, but I'm saying I don't see that being a
No, I
month.
think they will. They will because America is not going to spend the money to extradite him, and England is not going to spend the money to extradite him for a gun. But this becomes an international type of incident, or can be, because you got an American clearly breaking one of our main laws. They already call us cowboys, hee haw motherfuckers, yippee ki yay motherfuckers, because we always got a gun.
Yeah,
You got all these countries, like Australia, you can't get no gun.
yeah, we love
And
guns
guess what?
here.
And they don't have the problems that we have. So
Mm.
clearly, not having, doing it their way works. They don't have school shooting and all this bullshit. I ain't saying never, but they don't have the problems that we have.
But
So
no, I
clearly
don't.
that works.
Yeah, they don't have like mass, that weird stuff going on. We have one like every week here in America, like 2 to 3 every week. Seriously, like mass shootings. Some of them they don't even, report on because it's just so common over here. That's
Yeah,
what we
we
do.
come and be desensitized to it, but they don't have this problem. So obviously, what they doing works,
Mm-hmm.
and then they not gonna take it kindly to no yippee yay motherfucker coming over there, a yank coming over there and breaking their laws that they fundamentally got that damn pack secured. They ain't gonna let nobody come over there and do that. And that's what Bomac will represent. That's why I say it could potentially be an international incident.
Well, it is definitely an international incident because he is American and he is over there. But I don't know if they're going to. I'm not sure what's really going to transpire. I just don't see him sitting over there until October 9th. I'm not sure if they're going to, start asking questions and breaking things down, and if he's going to be freed or not. I just can't see them, England, with the relationship we've been having with them for all these years, especially with a Democrat in office, letting Bomac sitting there for no damn for a whole month and some change,
Now this what I'm gonna say. Trump got ASAP Rocky off, right? And then he got somebody else off. He did a couple of people. Every
Trump
president,
ain't do
look,
a damn thing. Girl,
stop it, stop it,
that was not on
stop it,
Hitler. That
stop
was
it,
not on
stop
Hitler.
it,
It
stop it.
wasn't. It wasn't.
Let
I'm
me
just
make
letting you
my
know.
let me make my point. He
Okay.
was in office and he was the president, so you're gonna give him the credit.
Mm-mm.
Shit,
Mm-mm.
stop it. Hold on. You can't, you can't, you cannot not include him in it
Mm.
because you speaking for America. He was in office when it happened. So what I'm saying basically, in every presidential reign, something like that has happened where they had to go over squads. You don't know who they say, okay, the FBI, y'all go over and act like it's just y'all, or the Department of Justice, y'all go in and cut that deal. Don't bring my name up. Whatever, however they do it, they not gonna let them go because we wouldn't let nobody go. If you commit a crime that's egregious to us, and even though carrying a gun is not, he didn't use it, and they ain't saying he shot nobody or whatever. He had a loaded fucking gun in his personal belongings. That's egregious to the UK because their citizens can't even get the first gun. You know what I'm saying? So that's going to be an egregious crime. If you do an egregious crime in America and you from over there, the first thing they're gonna do is say surrender your passport. They ain't gotta put you in jail, but they gonna say surrender your passport. You won't be going back home. Cause we gotta prosecute this. You know what I'm saying? If you had an English person that did that was with those Trump supporters who raided the Capitol, and shout outs to the justice system, because them motherfuckers getting time. You hear me? Them
Mm-hmm.
motherfuckers is getting time. Every time I turn on YouTube, you see another one of them motherfuckers catching 10 plus years. Shout outs to American justice system. It should be more, but that ought to hold their monkey ass. You know what I'm saying? They won't do that no more.
That's like a sign of treason, if you ask me. They should be put to death according to our laws when it comes down to treason, because that's what that was, treason.
When we
But
when we in war, only treason can be acted upon.
uh-uh,
And
uh-uh.
yes it, girl, stop it. Yes it is.
No,
That's the
I'm gonna say, we was in war. We was in war with with ourselves. So
uh,
they should enact the death penalty.
I'm like, girl, that's the one explicit law that you will find in the Constitution. Everything else is ambiguous, but that is the one explicit one, is what they would do in treason during war. But hey, we've had some treasonous stuff happen while we were in war, and it's up to the discretion of the president or whoever, the powers that be. But I'm just saying, you come over here from overseas and do something egregious. Like I said, if they had participated in that raid on the Capitol, America could let them sit there and walk around in America, give them bail, but they gonna say surrender that passport. You ain't taking your ass back home because we gonna get all this work, and that's what they could do to Bomac.
I don't know what I mean. I'm not sure if he's. I know he. I'm pretty sure he already has an international lawyer. All I'm saying is, I don't know. I just don't see him sitting in jail over there until October 9th. That's all I'm saying. All I'm saying is, there's always different ways you can push things forward. You can get the lawyer to, to call a meeting or whatever. Talk to the prosecution or whatever the case may be, and say, hey, this is what we got. This is what we know, and then they will let him go and things like that. I guess I'm not sure if they're still doing the investigation. I'm not really sure what's going on over there. And I haven't really been paying attention much to that bullshit in the first place. I feel like it's a bunch of bullshit. And I just don't feel like he's going to be over there until October 9th. That's what I personally believe.
This guy right here, I guess he's from Europe or the UK. He said, yeah, they 100% going to keep him. I believe that they will too. Because if he come back, they're not getting him back. And America is not going to help him get him back. And England ain't going to spend that money. Yes, we have an extradited. We extradite between countries and stuff. I don't know if
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying it right. But we do that but not for that type of charge.
Well,
I
Cruz, I
can't.
know they don't play with guns there. In most Western European countries, gun laws are strict, very strict there. But I'm saying, if they, whoever lawyer he has, international lawyer he has, if they find some evidence to prove that he's not with the foolery and buffoonery, it was a cheap trick and a setup. They can always call for meetings. I mean, um, expedite, do all the other kind of things. Him having the money and the things on his side, I just don't see him sitting in there until October 9th, especially if he's innocent. I just cannot believe that he would sit over there until October 9th on some foolery and buffoonery.
He said
This
unless
doesn't even make sense. So he went over there with loaded guns and ammunition. He took this over there to England. Nobody saw it. He just was able to fly over there and
and made it through customs.
everything. Yeah,
Yeah.
everything.
And
And
see, that's it depends, Destiny, then what you saying. It'll highly depend on what approach they gonna say. Did he buy the gun over there or did he bring it over there? I hope to God they say he brought it over there, because then I'd be like, we know you lying. We know you lying and the truth ain't in you.
And like Bruce mentioned earlier, and let's just say they say he brought it over. So why the hell would you want to bring it back to America? Well, that doesn't make sense. I'm pretty sure you got 1,000 damn guns on your damn cowboy ranch and shit that you live on. You probably go target practice. So why the hell would you need to bring back a little pea shooter that they probably have in England that he was probably able to, he's probably able to buy off the streets? Because
See,
like he said,
what makes it so bad is they said it was loaded.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. And he had ammunition too. It was loaded and ammunition. So he just had a whole bunch of shit going on, huh? Was he planning on like hijacking the plane? Like, what was the point of that? Like, that doesn't even make sense to me. Something don't smell right. It just don't smell right. And I hope,
And he checked his bags in early,
yeah,
guaranteeing that they gonna find it.
right, exactly. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I just got these guns. I got this gun. I make sure it's loaded, and then I got the ammunition. What the hell are you planning on doing? Why would you have ammunition and a loaded gun? So I mean, was you planning
Where
on
would he find it?
hijacking? I mean, I don't understand what was the plan there with that. Doesn't make sense.
Where would he find it? Then they have to press. Bomac said, "Where in England did you find it, or who helped you find it?" And of course, they could say, "Well, he lying. He ain't gonna tell on his source." But no, nigga. To find to find ammunition and a gun in England, you gonna have to be in part of the clique, and you over there for a week or less. Ain't
Right.
nobody trusting you to show you where to stash or hook you up with some shit like that. And if he made it, if he took it with him, there's shame on the fucking American Airlines or whatever, the airport or Atlanta airport and customs and all that. They will all get sued. Because how you
And,
miss that shit?
and the English customs and stuff once he landed inside the
Mm-hmm.
country. They allow him to be great and bring all this kind of foolery and buffoonery over there. So you gonna carry ammunition too? Like, so not only you gonna have your gun loaded, but then you're gonna have ammunition.
Cruz
That just
Bandit
sounds
said,
fucking crazy. It sounds like that movie Broke Down Palace, where that American girl, when she was I think in Thailand or someplace, and they tried to say she was smuggling drugs or whatever, and somebody set her up or whatever. They put it in her suitcase. I think
they
she
do,
must be
but
doing
you
it.
know what? That's common to all y'all Americans. Y'all gotta be careful. When I leave a country, of course I'm traveling with the military and I'm on military flights, so I ain't worried about it too much. But if I was flying commercial, and you best believe before I even get to the airport, when I arrive in the cab, standing outside, I opens my bags. You won't be dropping nothing out, because they do that to unsuspecting tourists. No matter, not just Americans, but anybody. I know people who got caught up and been spent time in the Caribbean jails because somebody tried to get them to sneak the package through, and the person unknowing, and you can't say shit. Once they catch you with it red-handed, you can't say a motherfucking thing. So you got to be careful with that, because some people will use you as a mule. Cruz Banter said, unless Bomac can prove without a shadow of doubt that the gun weren't his or someone else takes responsibility, he ain't getting out.
Well,
Uh,
we shall see, Cruz. I mean, you're not the prime. I mean, you're not the prosecution and stuff over there. You're just the person that you're thinking. We don't know. Hey, WJ.
WJ Luckett is in the building. What's poppin', King? Cruz Matcher is in the UK.
Yeah, I know, but I'm
Yeah,
saying he's not the prosecution, so I
yeah.
don't. Yeah,
He
I'm just.
might know how the laws work over there, though.
I
He
mean, of
live
course, he
over
should
there.
know how the laws work. If he lived over there, that would be weird if he don't know nothing about his laws. But I'm saying he's not a part of. We don't know what's going to transpire. I ain't here to entertain the fool. I'm gonna keep on a positive note and say he's gonna get out. Unless he really
WJ
did
Luck,
do that weird shit. Unless he really did do that weird shit, then that's very strange.
WJ says salute Queen T and Miss Destiny. Salute to you. Hey WJ, I still ain't got paid.
Got paid for what?
ATL ain't been over here. He ain't paid me that 100. I don't know. Cause he betted WJ, remember? And
Uh,
WJ told him to give it to me. He ain't give it to me. So every
uh,
time
uh,
WJ come in here, I give him an update.
oh, you ain't seen ATL in the month of Sundays?
Something like that.
That's weird for ATL not to
He
pay his best.
he could be busy on his channel and all that, but he said he had some. I figured it was, the beginning of school, because some of them kids went to school earlier than they normally do. But it
Oh
was
yeah,
kids
he
going
do
back
got
to
some.
schools, and he got some hella kids, so he probably had to get school books and supplies and clothes, and I get all that. But we passed the first of the month. They went to school last month.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, I forgot he got like 50, 11 kids.
He got a basketball team.
He sure do. So maybe he is, catching up on some things, or maybe he's gonna come. He should just say that though. Just send you a text, hey, let them know I ain't forgot. Got some things going on. Just keep it 100 that way, or shit, just be real and say I'm not planning. I'm not planning on paying no damn body.
I don't think. I mean, he rogered up. He after I showed him, I sent him. I did send him a text of a picture of how I wrote it down.
Hmm.
I don't think he believes that he made the bet. I think deep down inside he don't believe that he did it. And I was like, I totally get it, because the day of the, when everybody after the fight and they came on, I
Uh-huh.
was even saying stuff like, "Oh, good thing you ain't bet." But I forgot they did make that weird ass bet. It was a weird ass bet. It wasn't cut and dry. It was they were calling when the knockout was gonna happen. So
Uh,
even if Bud won, but he didn't knock him out, you don't get no money. You know what I'm saying? If
oh,
Spence
okay.
won and he didn't knock him out, he wouldn't get no money. They was calling a knockout, him and WJ. And I forgot about that.
No,
Until
I'm not
y'all
saying.
reminded me.
I'm not saying that you. I'm just saying maybe he. I said maybe he should just text you and say, hey, I'm going through some financial issues or not. He can also just say, hey, girl, tell Shorty. I mean, tell Buddy, I'm not paying shit, and leave it at that. I mean, it's better than not just showing up and being weird.
Yeah, I don't want him to have that reputation though, because I told him I'm against people who don't do that. I used to watch this one show called Bud Takes the Easy Route sometimes, and
Uh
this
huh.
guy and it was this guy named Dwight Anderson on there, loud as a bitch, man, loud mouth as hell. And I mean, and he argued so angrily, and I was like, damn, dude, you arguing like a female. Like, I never thought, I don't even talk like that, because I hate when they be like, that's something a bitch should do. I was
Uh
like,
huh.
look, y'all stop attributing every negative thing to bitches, because we don't do all the negative shit. But he damn sure argued like a female, because I remember growing up, females like to loud cap you and talk over you. And that's how they think win the argument. It is weird when you see a man do it.
Men do it all the time. Man, they ain't weird.
They
Men do that
do.
crap all the time. They always yelling and screaming and acting a damn. Men are way more emotional than women. That's
Yeah.
why we have wars, and that's why there's a lot of men in prison because they like to shoot and kill each other and do all kind of weird stuff going on. Men are 10 times more emotional than ladies, and I
But
don't
you don't
understand
realize
why.
that until you get older, right?
Huh?
You didn't recognize that until you got older, right?
Well, that men were more emotional than ladies.
Yeah.
Well, I don't. I wouldn't say. I mean, what do you consider older? Like when I was
Well,
like
when you
this
was
age?
a teenager or in your 20s, you wouldn't have thought that. I really did believe that women were more emotional
No, I
than
knew that in
men.
my 20s because my ex husband was very emotional individual, very emotional, and he was always in his emotions about something, one thing or another. He was always the one who wanted to touchy feely and all this other kind of weird shit. Yeah. So I always knew that men were a little bit more. Not until like my 20s. Now I will say that one. Maybe I even thought it when I was a teenager. I don't quite remember, but I know for a fact in my 20s, I'm like, yeah, just angry all the time. Just very strange humans.
Just
And I
like
remember,
you
I
raised
love
your
some
son
people.
too. You
Yeah,
raised your son too, so you definitely probably could see when you was raising him.
who Richie? No, my boy Richie is he's not like that though. Richie is like he's like so chill, so calm, so very. I've never seen Richie really, except maybe once or twice, to really get outside of body.
Mhm.
Usually he's just okay, like so nonchalant about it, like nothing really like phases him.
When
But
I would keep my nephews in them, I would keep my nephews and the one I call my son, my daughter's brother. He
hmm
always stayed with me all summer, every summer, right? And the crybabies of everybody was the boys.
yes,
They always cried. I was like, I'm waiting for it to be my daughter and her friend, but I took all of them to Universal, me, one adult, with all
hmm
these little teenagers. Oh
hell
my
for the news
God.
off.
And I'm telling you, the ones who kept crying the whole time over this, over that was the boys. I was like, it won't till the very end. Cause see, with girls, we can be cool for a while, but we got a time limit. And by the time the end of that week, all three of us bitches was tired of being around each other. We was ready to go. We like, all right, bitch. Look, this trip is over. I need some space. But the whole time we was there, one of them crying. The next day, somebody else. The next day, I was like, oh my fucking God. I
Yeah.
wasn't ready for it.
Now I will say that though, when Richie was a little baby, he was a cry baby, baby. Ooh, that boy was a cry baby. Um, he didn't, yeah, but I'm glad as he got older, he was not a little cry. He was. Richie's always been like chill, like really, really chill individual. That's my buddy. But nah. But for the most part, every guy I know it's very like they get all emotional, hold on to grudges. Dudes be remember me from arguments way back when on YouTube somewhere. I don't even know who little buddies be. Like I don't even remember you, little buddy. Like you see, I don't be caring about none of that. Like I can let stuff go. Like call me all kinds of bitches. Oh my, all right, shit. My mother talks to me worse than that. Yeah, but these
that's
dudes,
because
you
that's
said
because
this once. Are you still carrying on to
that's
some
because
YouTube shit?
that's because in life they hold women accountable. We don't get coddled. It is so not fair. We do not get coddled. Now you will get some spoiled women. Men think that all women are spoiled. Nope, nope, nope.
Mm-mm.
Let me tell you, women don't spoil women at all. Trust and believe that shit. If you gonna get spoiled, it's gonna be the nigga you with, and he gonna spoil you for however long he need to spoil you to get what he want, and then that shit gonna be over. But just in life in general, we don't get spoiled. They hold our feet to the fire. So ain't no sense in you throwing the tantrum. When my daughter was a baby, she was, all babies try you. She tried to throw a tantrum. I just looked at her and I just stopped in the middle of the aisle and just looked at her. And I'm like, you done? Fuck no, you ain't getting. I was a crazy mom. I'm like, fuck no. Then I get mad. You
Mm,
ain't having that. You can't have that because you cried. I don't. Or I might spank her on her legs but she
mm,
learned real quick. It didn't take me but maybe 2 or 3 incidents. Don't throw no tantrums with me because the
mm.
shit ain't gonna work.
I spoiled the shit out of my little sister. That was like my personal baby doll. Even though she's a grown lady now with her own little peoples, that's my Pooter called me for anything. I got her. No, I believe in spoiling everybody. Now that's one thing I do. I don't discriminate between male or female or whatever. If you're in my circle, I'm gonna fuck with you. I'm gonna fuck with you hard. But if not, then fuck you too. But yeah, I don't. But I don't be know. I don't remember people like people be. You said something to me.
Ready to pull a gun out on you.
Be big mad and shit.
That's
I'm
why
like,
I be telling you. That's why I be like, calm down, girl. Shit. I be saying the views expressed by
yeah.
Destiny Black is not that those of a boxing fan talking to me.
Yeah, and it's fine. I mean, we should say that. I mean, but whatever. But I keep talking shit, and I don't be thinking nothing of it. People be holding on to grudges and shit. Coming, yeah, yeah. Remember that time
Because
you said? What you
they're
like? Oh,
spoiling, like, yeah, we spoil our kids, right, y'all? We'll spoil our kids. Everybody spoil their kids. But then there's two different types of spoiling. It's the spoiling that's gonna hurt you in the long run out there in the world where you think you could do what the fuck you want to do.
mm-hmm,
And there's the spoiling that you give your kid. Like I call my daughter Teeny Pooty forever. Grown people was fussing with me. Don't call her that. Don't call her like why I can't call her that. Well, why you name her that? That's my motherfucking business. You nickname your kids. I call her Teeny Pooty. I don't know where the Pooty come from, but she was so fucking teeny. And that's why I call her Teeny. Not even like just small, but she was small, small. She
mm-hmm.
was going like 2 pounds, 3 ounces.
Yeah.
She was 10, and I seen her drop to before we got out the hospital 1.5 pounds. So to me, that's small. When your baby 1 years old and she barely weighed 14 pounds, most 1 year olds are 30 pounds or better.
Mm-hmm.
That's small, and she stayed small forever. It was kind of scary. And I think she was almost 9 before she started showing that she could gain weight. Before that, never.
No,
But that's why I called her that.
I mean that's cool though. I mean that's your child, and whatever. I mean, as long as you wouldn't call her a little slow bitch or something weird, But I think that's cute, Teeny. Because my little sister, uh, my mama's best friend had nicknamed her Pooter Scooter because she used to scoot across the floor when she was little, when she was a
Mhm.
little baby. And so I just still call her Pooter to this day. Now she won't let nobody else call her that but me. So I try to call her Pooter, she is not going. But I still call her Pooter or whatever because that's my Pooter. That's my Pooter Scooter.
I
She was
can't
my
call my
personal doll.
daughter. I can't call her Teeny Pooty now. I would say this if like as much as me and my mama go back and forth. If
Mm-hmm.
I was in pain and I got hurt, who I'ma call for? My mama. Cause when you a kid, you always think your mama can make shit better for some reason. And I would call her if I was at pain. I get babyfied if she came around. And I'm sure my daughter would too. And if she was hurt or something, I'd be like, oh, Teeny Pooty. It'll just come out. But just on GP, I better not call that child Teeny Pooty. She'd be like, the days is over. WJ, what you say? You say I spoil. He said he spoiled his wife. It's my fault though. Hey, keep spoiling her.
Yes, I mean she's a good lady. I mean, as you should. I mean, you should spoil her.
That's a
Um,
good thing.
yeah, it is very much a good thing. No, but I never really called her my mother. Honesty, I've always been a strange human, very strange human. So I mean, my mother said I didn't even like to be held when I was little. She was like, I would act a fool and make people put me down. I touch me. She said I was always strange, and I always been strange like that though. Even as I got older, I don't like all that
That's
affection
that's
shit.
that's like an independent type person. You ever see them babies that that their mama be holding them, but they sleepy, but they won't lay their head on her chest. They be sitting straight up in the hug.
Mm-hmm.
That was me. When I see my mama tell me about it, and I'm laughing, but until you actually see a baby do that, you be like, just lay your head there. The baby like, I don't need you. I'm gonna hold my head straight up. That shit is funny as hell. But
Yeah,
babies, they got their own little personalities.
yeah. I've always been a very strange human. Yeah, that's why. I'm an asshole. I'm just gonna be honest. I'm an asshole. That's probably why. Yeah, when people try to, nice men try to, I just am an asshole. I don't like to respond
See,
to
I
text
don't agree
messages.
with that. I don't agree with that. I think you get away with a lot of shit or have in your life
Oh,
being an
no,
asshole.
I
Yes,
am
you
an
do.
asshole. Child, I would tell you, Miss T, when I tell you I know I'm an asshole. I'm a very strange human. I like to be alone a lot. I don't, when people text me, they want to be bothered, and I don't want to be bothered. And half the time, I'll say like 30 days out the month, I don't want to be bothered about 28 of them. And if you text me within those 28 days, I don't feel like being bothered, you're not going to get a response for the most part. So, it'd be me. I wouldn't date me if I was a man. Shit. I only want to follow myself. So shit. Yeah, I know. I am a strange human.
But
Mm-mm.
everybody be thinking they weird and shit. Like I'm independent too. Like some things that should get to me don't get to me, and I had them days when I don't want to be bothered. Some guy told me something a long time ago. He said you need to compartmentalize people, and I was like, "What you mean by that?" He said, you got your fun person. All they do is have fun. You can't count on them to count no money and to do nothing responsible and shit. But they always just want to have fun, and don't nothing come out of the fun, but just fun. I said, put them in a box. Then you got the people that every time you hang with them, they fun and you have good conversation and shit, but they always got some mess going on with them. They always getting into some mess. You only take them out when you ready to deal with a potential mess or whatever. So that's what I do. I compartmentalize people, and like I don't hang with criminals at all,
Oh, God, that's a good start.
and I don't hang with thieves at all.
That's a, I will hope not. That's another, that's very good. People running around stealing shit. Oh, yeah, that's not
And
cool.
and when I was younger, and I have a bunch of guy friends, more guy friends than girls.
Mm-hmm.
But guys always want you to hold their secret, especially if they got somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to do it because I call myself being loyal to my friend. Like I
Mm-hmm.
meet them first before I meet their wife or their friend, and I would know their little dirty misdeeds. And the wife would ask me, and I'd be like, I don't know. No, I don't know. But now that I'm older, because you don't like it when it's done to you, but I ain't never ever gonna do that shit again. And I let all my guy friends know that's the thing that did change. Way back in my 30s, like mid 30s, I was like, don't ask me, nigga, to hold your secret. Don't even put me in no lie, cause I'm telling, I'm snitching. So
Snitches get stitches.
yeah, don't ask me then, cause you can't let me meet your wife and she's a good person.
Mm-hmm.
And then you want me to turn around and lie to this woman. Fuck that. I got sisterhood too. So,
I don't get involved in nobody's relationship. Yep. I could see somebody, husband or wife, out doing the most. It's none of my business. Whenever they find out, it's how they're gonna find out. It won't be from me. I tell you why. Because somehow you're gonna be the one that's the fault. Somehow it's gonna be your fault. The reason why they're going through whatever. So yeah, no, 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 no. And
I
people try
told
to introduce me to their mates. It's high and by for me. I'm not trying to get cool. I'm not trying to sit down and have tea and crumpets with this individual because I don't want no drama with nobody in their loved ones or whatever else they got going on. I
and
mind my
then they be
business.
like, the dude to be like, see, I told you don't be hanging with that bitch. That's a love bitch.
Mhm,
You
mhm,
always in your shit.
mhm,
Yeah, that's
mhm,
why I don't want to be a part of nobody's shit neither.
mhm.
But I know
Miss T, what do you? I mean, so this rematch, right? They
yeah.
ain't gave no dates or nothing like that, right?
But they say
Uh,
December, but we don't know exact date.
well, no, they haven't given no dates or whatever. It's just
In the
they just told
beginning,
us
they
that
always said December.
well, no, they really haven't. They just said he activated the rematch clause. He said he would like to fight in December, but Stephen
Yeah.
Espinoza came out and said something different. A couple of weeks ago and said that he don't see that fight happening at the end of this year. You
But
know,
that would be funny because in the contract, he had 30 days to activate his rematch clause, but they had to get the fight done before the end of the year.
yeah, but like Stephen Espinoza said, he said there's always negotiation, and that's what
I
he.
mean, if it's in I ain't saying it's locked in, but if it's in
Mhm.
the contract, then you got to follow. I'm sure Bud and them will want to follow the contract. If they want to push it off, this might help Bud and them, give Bomac time to handle the situation and get back. Because I do feel like a part of me feel like that's going to be devastating not to have him in the camp.
Of
That's
course,
a
it's definitely going to be
disruption.
devastating. He's the brain.
Yeah, he's the main ingredient in Bud's camp. What you see in the ring is manifested from his brain to Bud executing in the ring.
Yeah.
So it that will disrupt some things. Maybe Bud got so much familiarity that it might not matter and he could push through and go forward. I'm sure that they would get a chance to talk to Bomac and Bomac would be positive on the phone, like, look, I'm there with you. Don't worry about me. I got this. Because I thought about him going to jail, and like, what if he honestly, like I said, grabbed the luggage that they had in Colorado, that they drove back to Omaha and dropped off. He just
Mm-hmm.
grabbed it and flew over there and forgot he had a gun. Because if he driving, niggas stay strapped. You know what I'm saying? So he might have flew over there, maybe escaped the minds of TSA and customs coming through Atlanta and customs coming through UK. But and you make a mistake and you're gonna learn from it. Everybody who's going over there need to think about that shit. Whether you going over there for pleasure, business, or whatever, you cannot go over. We the only country with the Second Amendment right. Everybody else don't think like us. So you can't be taking your weapons and shit over there and all that unless you ready to spend time in jail and everything. So that'll be a lesson. You always got to take the lesson out of stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
secondly, I try to find a silver lining in it. If Bomac is over there, he'll get healthier. He will. He
Like I said,
won't be
I don't see him staying over there until October 9th. I just don't see it. I'm going to speak that into the universe,
mm-hmm.
and that's what I believe. I believe he's going to get out sooner than October 9th, and that's just what I believe. But back to this rematch thingy. Now, boxing is unpredictable. Anything can happen in the sport of boxing. So, can Spence win? Absolutely. Again, all it takes is one punch to change a fight. But historically speaking, it's not likely. With that being said, if they do a negotiations and they do allow Spence to, let's say, take a tune-up before he faces Bud again at 154, and if Spence takes a tune-up and he loses to whoever the tune-up person is, there I don't see that rematch happening at all. Because what would be the point? Now, if Spence goes straight into the rematch for Bud and there's no tune-up, and he loses again and he gets stopped even sooner, his career's over. And I don't see where he would continue on as a fighter.
Well,
And I think his career would be over too if he, took a tune up and then he lost in that tune up too. I don't see I mean, he could still box. I mean, that's absolutely true, but his stock is going to plummet, so
yeah.
far down. I don't see where.
His stock will plummet. He could become what they call the gatekeepers of the 147 pound or
Or
154,
54.
54, wherever he's fighting at. He can still make some kind of little change. But he's definitely gonna go down. Sometimes people got your number. And Bud
Mm-hmm.
got his number. That's what I believe. And it's the lack of skills. Now, can he improve a little bit? But what can he do in a short amount of time? I don't know. Um, Look at Charlo. Like I watched that Brian Castano and Charlo fight number 2. Charlo put on.
The
Charlo
thing
did a
is,
damn
from Miss
good
T,
job. He boxed.
Charlo came to Slow James from Ronnie Shields, so he already had some good boxing habits.
Well, he picked
Um,
it back up.
yeah, so he already had that kind of muscle memory, with him already. So him getting underneath that Dominican cat, it was just just reigniting those muscle memories he's already had. Spence ain't never had none of that. He's always had Slow James, and he's always had that terrible style of fighting. Historically speaking, that style that he fights in, that pressure style, that straight up and down pressure style, it's always never it's never successful in boxing. It's always you may you may win some titles, or you may win a little bit here and there, but it's you never go on to be like some spectacular fighter that they always get stopped and lose, and then they end up, like you said, becoming kind of gatekeepers, and everybody's using them as a measuring stick. You look
But
at Sean Porter.
yeah, you know what too. That type of fighting is good when you're young. When you're young, you can do all kinds of stupid stuff. Like David Benavidez is not a great boxer to me. I don't care what
Mm-mm.
nobody say.
Uh-huh.
But
Uh-huh.
but he is good because he's 25. When he's 33 or 35, holler at me. That shit gonna change because it's not sustainable. when
It's
you
not
think
that pressure
about Floyd,
style.
when you think about Floyd Mayweather, well, if they can have pressure, but can they box pressure with pressure? Floyd Mayweather style, Floyd was pressure. Floyd was knocking motherfuckers out when he was pretty boy, but Floyd evolved as the time went on, and the way he was fighting as pretty boy, he might have slowed that up and became more strategical when you compare Pretty Boy to TBE. But Floyd's style itself was sustainable for when he got
But
older.
see, Floyd was again, he was water though. So it depends on who he was in the ring with when he would apply the pressure or when he become a counterpuncher. That's Bud. Bud doesn't necessarily have. That's what makes Bud so special, right? He doesn't have a style, so to speak, because he can. That's why when he goes into training camp, he comes out and he just can look. He's never looked the same in any fight. You can look at all of Bud's fights, and he's never once looked the same in any of his fights. It's because he never allowed his body to develop, certain muscle memories. It's because he's water. He can mold to anything, and he goes into training camp. That's why he's able to come, and he's able to have like this magnificent Floyd Mayweather esque, defense,
Yeah.
and he shoot off that offense, just be the great counterpuncher we've always known him to be. It's because he's never allowed his body to develop, one style. Unlike, Spence is a creature of habit. They say he punches the punching bag just like he's fighting somebody. Everything Spence does, he does it just like he's in the ring with somebody. So
Yeah.
he has nothing but these terrible muscle memories, and they're not good. They're good and terrible, is what they are. They work for the kind of fighters that PBC put in front of him.
Mm-hmm.
And he's never got a chance to fight. They keep trying to say, "Oh, Bud's resume is terrible," whatever. But Bud was able to fight different styles and everything like that. Spence only fought one kind of style, whatever PBC put it in front of him. They built him up to be this great so-called fighter, and they always said, "Oh yeah, he had the better resume." No, he didn't have it. He just had the more. He had more names, well-known names on his resume.
He wasn't
Not
really
that the,
that fundamentally sound.
ain't never. He cannot be. He's not even fundamental. First of all, fundamental. You gotta start with the stance. He
Mm-hmm.
starts off his stance doing splits. I don't know what stance that's ever been popular in where you could do this. I mean, you're doing a split when you start off boxing. That must be some new shit. That must be some 2023 shit. That's not a. He's not fundamentally sound. He keeps his head on the line. He's always done that. He's always had terrible balance before the accident, after the accident, in between the accident. He's always had terrible balance. He's always been easy to hit. Statistically speaking, you look at his CompuBox numbers compared to Bud. He gets hit way more versus Bud. He throws more punches, but he lands at a lower percentage rate. I mean, connect rate than Bud. Speaking. So, I mean, on paper, Bud it was disaster speaking on paper. And then when you get in the ring, it was, equally to how bad it was on paper. There was nothing that said this fight was going to be 50-50. There was nothing that said this fight was according to the paper and according to
Mm-hmm.
the eye test and actually to what we actually got to see.
According to the receipts, there was
Yeah.
nothing on paper. And Derek James, he got that style, just bulldoze over you, come forward, and all that. And you're right about that punching bag, because every time he hit the punching bag, I swear he in the ring. I could see him fighting like that in the ring, and that's not the end all, the be all. You got to do a lot of different shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like when he hit Bud and Bud went to the ropes right before he knocked him down the second time, I said, damn, did Bud get hurt? But then when Bud just leaned against the rope, I said, oh, no, he's setting the trap. It wouldn't even occur to Spence. Spence thought he heard him, and he went in for it. He did exactly what Bud wanted him to do. And so when they be saying fundamentally sound, I kept saying that was a backhanded compliment that his people was giving them, because really what they saying is they ain't want to say he
He's
dangerous
basic.
as a motherfucker. That's what they didn't want to say. Now I saw an interview recently. It's probably an old interview, but I seen a recent interview, and they was talking about Crawford. So it was before the fight.
Mm-hmm.
Where Derek James was like, it was before the Ugas fight, and he was talking decently about Ugas, because you don't want to put the motherfucker down before you fight him. Because that's how
Right.
you gonna turn people off. They be like, I don't want to see that fight. But
Mm-hmm.
anyway, Derek James was saying, well, he's a good fighter. He's very strategic. He's a good boxer, and he got power. He got them 12 knockouts, so he got power. And then the dude pointed out, look when he said that. Then he showed when they talk about Terence. Terence had more knockouts before Errol Spence and him fought than Spence had fights. Let me say that again. He had more knockouts than Spence had fights. Spence had 28 fights. Terence had 20, what was it? 20, 30 knockouts. He
Mm-hmm.
had more knockouts than the man had fights. And how you be at a career for over 10 years and you only got 28 fights?
Well, you
What
got
was
to
up?
think about it. From 2019 till 2022, pretty much, he only fought, two times. So, what the
Then
hell is my mother talking about?
why did his reputation take a fall like Keith Thurman? Because that's the main reason people fell out of good grace with Keith Thurman, because he wasn't active. Why wasn't Keith active? Because of injuries. Same thing for Earl. Is a double standard. What Earl managed to do, which we didn't see coming as boxing fans, is that he had a clique. He managed to have a clique in boxing, the popular kids. Derek James visceral for Terence Crawford is crazy. Like
Yeah,
when
he
you call
raised,
him,
he raised, but
some dude called him Shrek. I was dying laughing. I could see that. I could see that nickname. But when you call him Slow James,
that,
yeah, so I
he is.
could see that too. But his depiction of Bud was just straight up lies. It was hate seething through his teeth. He
It
was
was. It
hating.
was hate seeping through his teeth. Same thing, And then Spence started drinking the Kool-Aid too, listening to all these fanatics and all these strange humans that were saying all these weird things about he's the eye collector and bone breaker and all these other kind of silly shits they were talking about. Mind you, when you actually Google what injuries did Ugas suffered during that fight, and it only says he had a audible eye fracture.
Yep.
They didn't say nothing about no broken noses, no broken ribs. So all
Yep.
of these things is manufactured
Yeah.
out of thin air. So I don't know what idiot decided to run off and start, spreading that lie. But and then all the other little minions behind him started spreading, or she, I don't know, started, spreading the same damn stories. None of it was true. It was all made up, manufactured. Besides
Mm-hmm.
the audible eye fracture, and if you have anybody, a punching bag, standing right in front of you, it's easy to break somebody's audible eye. I
Yeah,
mean,
and my friend Coleman, Trevor, I'm gonna say Trevor, my bad. He know I love him, but I gotta be honest. When he make an assessment, when he be talking about Bud fans versus Spence fans, he compare Bud fans to Trumpsters or Republican like. And I be like, nah, that is Errol Spence and them. That Republicans are very popular. They can lie through their teeth and everybody believe
now
them.
that's funny, Miss T, because I was
Nah,
the first
that's
one
true.
started saying that about about Spence, Spence Fanatic. I started make
Yeah,
Earl great again. And that's
right.
yeah. It's kind of now I feel like he's stealing shit, but let him go off.
He didn't. No, he didn't know you. He won't.
Oh,
He
okay.
didn't look at the show that much. But
Hmm.
I'm just saying, like he had it backwards. But he is so delusional. Like his case for how he come up with analogies and conclusions, like the Victor Conte. This is the first time I ever heard a man be like, "Don't forgive a man who's been in trouble before." Every man be like, "Man, don't hold that against that man." Every man sang that tune, but not Victor Conte. Whatever he did before, and Victor Conte didn't mess with boxers when he was in trouble.
Yeah,
He
it was
paid his debt.
basically baseball and
Yeah,
track
yeah,
stars.
and Olympians and shit. And he paid his debt to society. And you don't they think that boxing know his past? Don't you think when people having to do VADA and USADA and those type of testing, and people be on snack, something would have popped up. But he was like, he tried to make the conclusion that the dude is already proven guilty. So I had offered him my platform, and he
Hmm.
has yet to take me up on it. I
So,
said, come on my platform. I ain't gonna say nothing. We're gonna let you have it.
so
And you
the
hold
funniest
on,
part
hold
to me
on.
is, I'm sorry, go ahead.
We're gonna tell the world. You gonna tell the world that Bud was juicing, because that's what he's saying. That he was cheating because it's in the snack. It ain't
Mhm.
in the, it's not no pairs in the snack that Devin takes or Boost Ennis takes, but it's in the one that Bud receives. I said, tell the world that, because Coach Malachi brought up manager Martin. He said, Bud, I think y'all should sue him. And I was like, Bud, you know what? You made enough money. Take some of these motherfuckers to court and make them prove it.
Mhm.
He
No,
wouldn't
but you know
do
what
it.
I'm saying though, because it's not just Bud that's a part of the snack pro. There's a few boxes. So they're trying to say that Bud now all of a sudden he's getting knockouts because he's on Snack. So who the fuck else was knocking out before Snack ever came along? Way before 2018. So he did knock out, Gamboa, the Victor Postals of the world, Jeff Horn and stuff like that. So who? I mean, like, so he wasn't knocking out people
Well,
before
no,
Snack,
no, no, no. Bud fought Sean Porter. After Sean Porter, he fought David Avanese. And after
right?
David Avanese, he fought Spence. So Bud got 3 fights that he had when he
Under
was on
Snack. That's
Snack.
what I'm saying. So what were you
But
doing before?
he got 11 straight knockout.
That's what I'm saying, Miss T. So what was he
Yeah.
doing before then? Like, so he wasn't knocking out. So this is just all a part of our imagination. And okay, and if a Snack is doing all these weird things and giving him all this extra power to knock out, well, why hasn't Devin Haney had knockout? Yeah, since I think 2019 or 2018, one of those years when he fought Antonio Mora. Moran. So it doesn't make sense. So why isn't he not knocking out folks then? If it's just Bud. So Victor Conti's just concentrating on giving Bud all
Just
the
Bud.
good juice.
And
So
this
why
is
didn't
Rob.
Boots knock out the Cameron dude?
It's just Bud. This is Rob. I see you, King. Welcome to the building.
Hey, Rob.
It's just Bud, and the snack. Every pack of snack that Bud gets his hands on, it's
Mm-hmm.
gonna have juice, and they got a special blend just for Bud, according to him. And
Right.
and then they be like, I said, that has never been proven. What did you talk about? He said Netflix already proved that with their documentary. I said, come on, nigga.
Sounds
Like the
delusional and
delusion when he say certain things, I hear Marty and Fanon. I said, dude, I'd have told you stop watching them liars. I said, stop watching them. It's a lot of Spence fans channels out there that you could watch other than them two,
yeah.
because they are
Honestly,
known to lie.
the most sane. I wouldn't even say Spence channels, but some of the most sane, other YouTube channels that I fucks with besides yours is, and I wouldn't say they're necessarily Bud, they fucking with Bud. It's like 78 Sports. He's very sane, very sane, not bananas. Blue Blood, but Blue Blood is, I think he's kind of like straight down the middle now. He's not into all this other weird kind of stuff. um, there's a couple other channels.
But Blue Bud is concerned with his bottom line, as he should. As he should. He is concerned because he's had a come up in the YouTube
Mm-hmm.
likewise. So as he should. Well, I wouldn't want to give it up. So sometimes he said things that is questionable. That's why he gets in trouble with
Yeah.
his fans. But he's Blue Blood. When he do talk, I hear logic. You know what I'm
It's
saying?
very
But
logical. Same thing with 78 Sports for the most part.
uh-huh.
Even though 78 Sports was wrong when he had his prediction of what was going to happen in that fight, but his wasn't so far off
Mm-hmm.
that you'd be like, God damn, like, is he on planet Earth or is he on planet, idiot? Because, at least he said he felt like it was going to go to the scorecards, and the difference was going to be, he thought Spence was going to be able to knock Bud down. Like I'm saying, like his prediction just wasn't so, out of there, out of
Uh-huh.
in the stratosphere somewhere that you'd be like, man, bruh, are you okay?
Like you can't look at the two and say Spence is the better boxer. You can't.
Yeah.
There's no way. I don't care. Derek James, don't even bring up who the better boxer. Avoid those type conversations, because you
Mm-hmm.
cannot say that Spence is the better boxer. Nobody looking at that can say that. He said Ugas is not better than Terence.
Not
But
on any planet.
but see, that's when you say it's delusion. But if you say my God's style of fighting, Errol is a plow, he'll plow through you. And you gonna break down, he breaks you down slowly but surely. I mean, I can't argue with that logic.
Right.
And so
But
if you're a Spence fan and you saying that, I ain't arguing with you.
that
That's
makes
what
me
you
okay
do.
because sometimes that ugly style works. I don't like that
Mhm.
style personally. I don't even understand how people even like that style. I think it looks sloppy. It's not very intelligent at all. It's not making you. It's not a thinking kind of strategy. You know what I mean? It's just let me just go in there and throw some punches. Like Raku Sock and Robots is what makes me think
Yeah.
of, and I don't like that style. I don't like that style at all. I've never liked
Throw
that style.
everything at the wall and see what sticks.
Yeah, and I'll
That's
take
what
some
you
punches
do.
going in. I'll get hit a couple. I'm gonna use my face as my defense, so I can go ahead and do these, rock'em sock'em robot punches like David Benavidez
Yeah,
does.
yeah. But when
So
you 20, when you're in your early 20s, them punches coming fast and quick
and hard.
and hard. But when you get in your 30s, you might not can put your finger on it. But when you get caught up, you will say, damn, I'm not as fast as I was.
But when you're in there with a skilled,
Person.
powerful counterpuncher, that foolery and buffoonery is not going to work because every time you go to throw a punch, you're leaving yourself wide open to be countered. Especially when you got a counterpuncher like Bud or Mayweather in front of you, who that's all they waiting on. Every time
Mhm.
you act, they're gonna react. They're already about to react. They're about to act before you. They're punching with you.
Exactly. Get them likes up, y'all. Hit that like button.
Yeah, y'all smash
Um,
the like button. It's for free. It doesn't cost
yeah.
nothing. It's really for free. Yeah, but
Help a sister out. Help a
mm,
sister out. Anyway, yeah, but we're not gonna argue with y'all wanting to have Spence as the better fighter. We pick
but
Bud
when you
because
ask some of these when people ask some of these fanatics, these strange humans, like well, what is it? How's Spence gonna beat Bud? Oh, he breaks bones and eyes. That's not I don't understand that strategy. That's not a strategy. And then when they asked Slow James that one, he was like, "Oh yeah, he breaks eye. I mean, he breaks eyes and bones." Bro, he doesn't have a style. His style is breaking bones. Bro, you are a so-called trainer, aka coach or whatever.
mhm.
And this is what you're talking about. He doesn't have a style. I mean, because you
But
don't know, you're not giving us. I mean, you don't even know how he's going to win this fight,
remember
bro.
in the fight when he said, "Make him feel you, get on him, jump on him."
Yeah,
Even at the end, like, dude, you should have been saying, "Okay, strategy. Take this round off. You're gonna have to strategize. You're gonna have to." He
mhm.
kept telling him, "Get off the line." He wouldn't do it until the end. He was like, just go for broke or whatever. I guess that's what he's trying to say. But dude, if you call it that your fighter breaks this and breaks that, and a lot of y'all Texas people got in on the bandwagon with that shit. And guess what? But
Buffoonery.
yo dude got his eye broke in camp. Yo dude now, I don't know if it's rumors. I'm gonna say it's rumors because I don't know if I believe it.
I
But
don't believe it. I
they're
don't believe it at
claiming
all.
that his ribs got broke in
No,
training.
because his sparring partner was on somebody's podcast, right? And his sparring partner ain't say nothing about him having some broken ribs, eyes, or nothing else was broken. And it
Mhm.
doesn't even make sense if he was all this so called broken up or whatever he's supposed to have been. I didn't understand. Like if that was a thing, and then I heard somebody say, I think I can't remember whoever said it, but they was like, there was no way Spence would have, came out and said like, um, you know, I gotta postpone this fight because I have
Let
some
me
broken
tell you
ribs
something.
because people would have said he was a duck, which I do agree with that, to some extent. But
You would
if
have
you come
had
with
to
the
be a
proof,
duck.
yeah, but if you come with the proof and say, there's some real, the doctor's saying like, yeah, there's some real broken ribs here or whatever.
Right.
I mean, I'm not going to argue with nobody's doctor. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just not a thing I'm going to do. And I understand, and I would definitely understand that. Like, oh, okay, well, as long as the fight's still going to happen, once he gets his ribs healed or whatever the case may be, that's cool or whatever. But to say that this is what happens, he didn't spar for 6 weeks. That don't even make sense.
Jerry is in the building with Poppy King. Now I'm gonna throw some anatomy on y'all. Let me tell you, I can see the picture in my head, and the animation that they gave us when we was learning anatomy and how your body heals and reconstruct bones or turn, over the time from a baby up, you have cartilage turning into bones,
Mm-hmm.
cilial bones, and all this stuff, and they come at different times and different ages in your body, right? So the animation that they gave us was like a dump truck rolling around, scooping up the damaged area, and then some else coming in and fixing on it and all that. Well, what I always say, things take time. Even when you heal something, there's healing. Okay, it's healed, it's a fix, but then you want that shit to solidify, and that solidification process is longer than just the healing process. So far be it for you to have broken ribs, and then let's say you didn't spar, and so then they heal, and now you run the risk of him breaking it worse in the motherfucking fight. That's number one. Number two, when you break ribs, you can't breathe. So there would have been a postponement. See, that's the part that they don't think about, because people like to claim some medical issue, but they don't think about the side effects of what it means elsewhere. When your ribs are broken, you can't breathe.
Right. I
So
mean,
how
when
you
you crack
fighting?
ribs, it literally sometimes cracked ribs, broken ribs takes months
Yeah.
usually to heal because you have to use you because you got to get up, you got to walk around, and it takes ribs way longer to heal
Mm-hmm.
than most other bones in your body to heal because you're constantly having to use that frame, your body frame for the most part.
Your
There is
torso.
nobody, and then if that was the case, then why didn't he have when Bud was hitting him, hard to the body, then Bud was hitting him with some hard ass body shots.
One now you could
Why
hear
didn't break
them.
again?
You could
So
hear them. But see, they would have broke, and they would have shattered.
that's what I'm saying. Why they ain't break
Yeah.
again? We didn't hear nothing about him having broken ribs, nothing like that. Like nothing came out, saying, "Oh yeah, Spence got them good broken ribs now." After this, and he was on vacation. He literally went on vacation
Exactly.
with 1 week after the fight.
And you can't fly. You can't fly with shit like that.
Yeah, because you're gonna be in
Even
fucking pain. That's not nothing you're
and
gonna
then
be like, yes, let me
and
go
keep
fly
playing.
out and have a great time with my girlfriend. That's a whole fucking
I
lie.
don't even know how he was able to get on the fly to go on the plane to go to Ibiza in Spain, because he's suspended because of the cuts, but he's also suspended because I think he was concussed.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you just got a cut, that could be 30 days. The concuss would make it 2 months, like they did it.
Yeah, I
So,
mean, he was definitely concussed because I mean, after the fight, when they were speaking with him, his speech was very much slurred, like Timothy
mhm.
Bradley when he fought
Ruslan
Ruslan
Provodnik.
Provodnikov or whatever the
Yeah,
man name was,
yeah,
Ruslan or
yeah. Ruslan Provodnikov.
Provodnikov. Yeah, yeah. So he was definitely concussed because his speech was very slurred. Then people were saying all these weird things about him having all this neurological damage because the way his speech sounded. Yeah, because he had fake teeth in his mouth, you idiots.
And
Yeah, that's why. Yeah, that's definitely why
he
the
talked
speech
crazy.
changed.
If he got any of those injuries that came after that fight, because that third knockdown, when because Bud kept hitting him in the top of his dome, like right close to that temple
The
bone.
temple and the ear, he was definitely
Remember,
knocking his
like the
equilibrium
top,
off.
remember at the top of his head, man,
Yes.
he was fucking his ass up. Like that third knockdown, he almost flew. He took him off his feet.
And then the whole thing about Bud doing these rabbit punches, they literally showed maybe three at the max of Bud hitting Spence behind the head, but that was never on purpose. You could definitely tell it's the way Spence was ducking while
Yeah,
Bud was swinging. That was the Spence, and he ducks like that all the time.
yeah.
And and they would land, a little bit
And
behind
all
his
of
head.
them didn't land. All of them didn't land because I was like, "Ooh, Bud." But Bud
Yeah.
was in the middle of the throw, and Spence would duck, and sometimes it skated to the back of his head. But Bud never on purpose threw a
Spence,
behind the head.
I mean, you look at when Bud went up against the ropes, right? He knocked him down the second time. He gave him that right uppercut, right?
Mhm.
Um, when Bud turned this, because he was rolling with the punch, because he knew Spence was throwing that left, the overhand left. He rolled with the punch, but it hit him right behind the ear. So you could say that's behind the head. The back of his head too. I mean, none of these punches was. I don't think Spence was aiming to let me punch on the back of his head. When you're boxing, you're throwing punches. You're not aiming necessarily. I mean, I will hope most boxers are not doing that. Well, you do have some that's very mean and very evil, and you have always strange humans, serial killers, pretty much, that do stuff like that. But in their case, I don't think that was none of that was going on. When Spence was throwing that overhand left, and Bud turned his head because he was rolling with the punch, and he hit him with that uppercut. That was not on purpose. So should we say Spence was, throwing blows behind the head? I mean, we don't know how many times, Bud might be injured or whatever he got going on before he comes into a fight. Just because everybody just think he's always so healthy or whatever because he lives the fighter's lifestyle. And people, they kind of using that against him. And that's kind of odd to me. The fact that we're gonna let Spence make it with all these things that he's supposed to, all these injuries and all these other kind of weird things he got going on, because he didn't live a fighter's lifestyle and he wanted to be a little bit drunk and do all kind of other weird things with his body. So that's an excuse for him. But Bud is always in shape. So, he's not allowed. I mean, this is some ass backward shit. It don't even go together. Go together.
And I don't want to get deep into this conversation and call no names, but Spence's personal life, like outside the ring, I be looking at these YouTube channels. Shout out to Ratchet TV. Shout out to Miss Lowdown that be talking about the Mo 3 shit.
I'm not getting into none of that stuff.
I ain't getting into. Yeah, you better not. You in Texas?
I'm not into that. Girl, I don't fool around with nobody. But I don't know nothing about all that. I think some of that shit some foolery.
Listen to me. It ain't foolery because I watch it all the time, and they be showing receipts. But again, all I can say is I don't know. But when I said that he wanted a money grab, this fight with Bud was a money grab. And I said that for purely boxing stuff. And I'm saying that again for the second time around when you brought up whether he took the rematch or not. It's a money grab because you're not going to get the payday that you got with Bud, probably with nobody else, unless you fight Canelo, but you on the losing side. So Canelo ain't going to fight you. And because he going to
No. Cinema definitely fight him.
I don't think Canelo would. You might think he will. But I'm just saying, he gets a big payday with Bud. That's his first big payday. Run that back. I think what's going on in his personal life, all I was going to say was he need never-ending money. Because if what those people are saying are true, he needs never-ending money. Lawyers and whatnot and all this good stuff. I don't know if it's true. I don't know if it's not. It's very entertaining, whatever it is. You can go watch it for yourself. But you can't turn on YouTube without that shit popping up day in and day out. And that shit is getting heated right now in them Texas streets. So
I'm not going to give any of that any credits because this man has not been charged with nothing. He's never been accused, by law. So this is nothing but, these weird ass humans with all these gossip blogs. And I'm not into the gossip blogs because it's just gossip. Until there's some actual proof or whatever besides somebody driving past him when he was flipping over and he was doing somersaults in the air. I'm just not Miss T. And
I ain't talking about that incident. I'm talking about well, it don't matter. Y'all can go watch
my bad then. I thought what you were talking about.
Y'all can go watch them yourself and figure out if you believe it or not. But the people that I didn't mean to, I didn't go searching for it. It's coming up in my timeline. So I watch it and I'm like, they show receipts. And if what they're saying is true, let's say if that was me, what they saying about him, if that is something that I did, I will feel like I need never ending money to get straight and get up out of this mess. because you gonna need to pay some lawyers some big bread. And truth be told, out of everybody that they talk about, the one that probably would get out kind of mostly unscathed would be Errol, because he the only one with some real money amongst the
Oh,
group.
Miss T, the funny thing is that when you mentioned something earlier, you was like, this is the only fight that he was going to. That's the whole thing, too, that really bothers me. I wish Bud would stop saying, like, oh, yeah, he owes Spence because Spence is the reason why this fight happened. No, Spence knew his back was against the wall. He
Hmm.
knew he was not going to make this kind of money with nobody else but Bud.
Hmm.
He knew that. He knew that he was not gonna make this kind of money with no damn Keith Thurman. Nobody gave a fuck about that fight. Let's be realistic.
Yeah.
And he knew this was his legacy fight too. He knew that he wanted to be into the Hall of Fame. Although people claim that, we don't care about the Boxers Hall of Fame. People who say that's telling a good goddamn lie. I'm talking about fans too, and fans included. When they say, "Oh yeah, they don't care that their fighter made it into the Hall of Fame," stop it. Stop the madness. Yes, you do. And boxers care about that shit too. And he knew fighting a Keith Thurman at this point is not going to put him into the Boxing Hall of Fame. That was not a legacy fight at this point or whatever. Bud was his only option, really. And
But you,
even with making money with the Cinnamon fight, right? The Cinnamon fight, if he would have fought Cinnamon without, fighting Bud, yeah, probably would have made some coins, but it was not going to be looked at as no legacy fight. It
mm,
was never going to be looked at anything other than, Little Tinker and Lion Ryan.
hmm,
That was the only way it was going to be looked at, like a payday fight. But it was never going to look at as a legacy fight. And he really wanted to make some coins. He knew he had to fight Bud. So I wish
but
Bud would stop because
but he
now
not
you
gonna
got all
stop.
these weird ass channels, all these weird ass Spencer fanatics,
Mhm.
megas running around saying like, yeah, Bud, he owes Spence and all these other kind of weird things. He don't owe Spence the goddamn thing, first of all, because he was already going into the
Mhm.
Boxing Hall of Fame. He didn't need Spence. Spence needed him. Bud
Yeah,
was already solidified. He already had his hands casted. He ain't need shit with Spence. I mean, to make that kind of, but even with, he already
but
have
you
money because, he
understand.
paid.
You understand why he do it, right?
Yeah, yeah, I
It's
understand
the
why he do
Libra
it.
in him. It is really the Libra in him.
Yeah, because he's an
He
honest human and he's a good
he's gonna
human.
he's gonna be humble,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because
Mm-hmm.
one, it's not completed business. See, Bud didn't have to, like, he could, if that was the only fight and they didn't have no rematch clause, Bud
Mm-hmm.
could have handled that a whole lot differently. Talk this shit and be like, I told y'all or whatever. But
Mm-hmm.
their business is not done, and they had to wait to see if their business was done with the rematch clause. Number one. Number two, first order of business when you fighting somebody, you don't put them down because you want people to come see the fight.
Right.
You gonna kind of build them up, and they know that Earl Spence in his side is a little bit more egotistical. Now Bud is egotistical too, but most men are. So you know his pride and everything. Bud was trying to be humble and all that for Spence pride, and he was happy that Spence got off the couch and actually came to the table and handled his business. And he would hope that Spence do it more times like that. And he knows that Spence went against the grain just to get the fight. So he got to be appreciative because Al Heyman, Floyd Mayweather, and probably Derrick James and all of them, they probably did not want him to fight Crawford because they already knew what was gonna happen. And the people that's on the money grab in boxing right now, you got Canelo, Jamel Charlo, Earl Spence, Bud Crawford, Tank Davis. All of these people are on the money grab. So now you got to sit back and look at each one of them individually and say, are they right? Should they, do we care? Is it that big of a deal? Because when I look at Bud, he already feel like it's the end of his career. So it's
Yeah,
about
but
money
he's
for him.
saying that though. He's saying like he's not fight. I don't see Bud fighting past 36. I feel like this is when he turns 36. We got one more year with Bud. And it's a damn shame that a lot of these casuals are not on Bud. You know, they're not knowing who the fuck Bud really is because we had some hater at fucking Top Rank who didn't want Bud to be great because he didn't want Bud to be any of his the people with the complexion for the protection.
But
And,
he'll get
that's
his
what happened.
glory later.
Huh?
In history, it'll pan out that he'll get his glory
I
later.
mean,
Yeah.
but all the Bud fans, the real, Buddies for Bud or whatever the fuck they want to call all this little silly shit names that they gave us. We been knew who he was. We been knew he was the truth. We been knew he was the goods. It's just the fact that, some of these other weirdos didn't get to know that he was who he was. And the
Yeah.
reason why he was so celebrated,
Mm-hmm.
the eighth most recognized athlete in the world, eighth,
Mm-hmm.
not boxer, but athlete in the world. He was recognized eighth. That's top 10. Spence's name was nowhere near on there. Spence was only really popular on YouTube, let's be realistic, and fucking Twitter.
And
You know what
Texas.
I'm saying?
And Texas. Let's be realistic.
Yeah, and
And
that's
Texas.
and that's only because Jerry Jones was buying shit. Let's be realistic about that too.
Yeah. Suspense.
Bud didn't have nobody buying him seats and all kind of weird shit going on. He didn't have none of that. His fans really supported him. Every time
They were
Bud had to
cliquish.
fight, huh?
They were cliquish because he was where he was from.
Mm-hmm.
And y'all state is pretty big, so you got a lot of people in Texas. You can survive your whole career just in Texas and become a
Who's y'all
millionaire.
state?
Y'all,
Who's y'all state?
y'all, the people who live in Texas.
Oh, because this ain't my state, sweetheart. I'm not from. I am not a Texan. This would never be my state. I would never claim this state. Fuck this state and fuck Hot Wheels. Hot Wheels is the governor. I don't like. I don't like the state. I don't like the ashy ankle men that live here, and I don't like the fucking governor, Hot Wheels.
Girl,
Fuck
you said
this
Hot
state.
Wheels. God damn.
Ooh.
Like I said, I'm gonna call him Xavier.
His name is Hot Wheels.
Hot
Girl, no,
Wheels.
Xavier was a good dude. Don't call him Xavier. That nigga's Hot Wheels. Somebody need to push that bitch in the middle of the ocean too. Push his ass right in the fucking the middle, along with fucking Meatball Ron. Don't and then Orange Hitler. All three of them bitches can go in the middle of the damn ocean
Yeah,
together.
Meatball Ron. Who is Meatball Ron?
Florida.
Florida. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
Ron. What's his name?
DeSantis.
DeSantis. Oh,
Meatball
Ron.
Ron.
Cletus. Mike Jones said, "Destiny, you got a man."
Nope, Mike Jones. I'm is single, but Mike Jones, I am an asshole, and I wouldn't date me if I was a man. I'm trying to tell you, Mike Jones. I'm good and terrible.
Somebody made a song like that. Give a shot to the asshole. Who's that? That
Girl, I
Kanye
don't know
West?
no song like that now. Now that might be
Mike,
some shit that you only heard in
the
music
Mike.
Spain.
No, that's Kanye. I
No, I'm
think
just
I
joking.
heard. Yeah, like that's a song that's in the 2000s. It wasn't in
I
the
mean,
90s.
Miss T. To be honest, I don't really listen to music. To be completely honest, that's what I'm trying to tell you. I'm a very strange human. Very strange.
No,
I like to live in my own thoughts.
Jaguar Wright was singing it. Mike Jones said
I
Bud
never
should
heard
have
of that
been
person.
Bud should have been Al Heyman. Yet he shouldn't have. Al Heyman dirty as
I
far as
mean, no,
Bud is
I'm not gonna
concerned.
say that, Miss T. He's
It's
Al
not
Heyman's
Spence
now.
fault.
He's done nothing but good by his fighters.
Yeah, it's not Spence fault that Bud. I'm gonna get his chats. It's not Spence fault that Bud wasn't popular. It is when you go on a smear campaign to assassinate somebody's character, and you know that your Spence fans gonna pick up on it. Because I'm gonna tell you, I said this the other day, Mike Jones. I don't know if you was in here. The Spence fans be so delusional. Not all of them. The ones we gonna call sexuals. They be so delusional that if you was to hear them and you let's say you had a buddy caking for some girl that you ain't think was worth it, and you be like, man, you excusing everything this bitch do and say. You either what? You either fucking her or you wanna fuck her. And that's sometimes when I be talking to Spence fans, Men alike. I be like, you either fucking them or you want to, because it's not that much cake in the world. It's not Spence's fault. It is Spence's fault. He started it. Go back to that 2019 video when he just out the blue start putting Bud down, and everything follows suit from there. And then you said, don't dance us. You don't dance, Spence fans. I don't know what he meant by that.
I don't know what that means.
Me either.
You don't dance Spence fans. I don't know what that means, Mr. Mike Jones. That might be some Texas shit. He might be from Texas. His name Mike Jones. Mike Jones.
Mike Jones, who? Mike Jones.
That nigga will always spelling shit too.
Back then they didn't want me. Now I'm hot. They all on me.
Yeah, one thing he always remind us who his name was, nigga. I mean, your name is very basic. Who the fuck is going to forget Mike Jones? Calm down, sir.
I remember I had a barbecue at my house one day, and the guys were sitting around the table. They funny as hell, man. Dude's like, man, what that look like? Who you think I am? And so one of the kids said, Mike Jones.
The word on the street is here in the good old Texas is that Mike Jones got that good package. And he gave it to some young lady named Keisha Johnson, I think her name is.
Always a Keisha.
No, I mean seriously, like she talks about it, but she won't name the rapper. But you could put two and two together and come up with.
Well, I mean, you saying good package like he left something permanent with her?
Or yes, Miss T, the good package, the good and terrible package. So the one that's gonna kill you at some point if you don't take your meds.
I heard that the DFW area is full of a lot of those.
No, but this is here in good old Houston, Texas, baby. Houston, okay. And this is talking about Mike Jones. And Shorty, she won't say the name of the rapper or whatever, but you put two and two together, you can come up with four with what she's saying. And everybody's pretty much everybody in Houston kind of knows who it is.
Yeah. You know, Atlanta is the same way. Texas, y'all don't get no bleeding heart. Don't get mad at Miss T, because sometimes I criticize y'all. I criticize Georgia and my state, Virginia. Georgia and Atlanta was a high case of that good old terrible package, especially amongst black people, and the rising people that was getting it was black women around my age group and Destiny age group. So yeah, shit, I would call it like I see it.
Yeah, that's because you in Atlanta though, it's a whole lot of those
low downs.
It's a lot of those DL gentlemen and but you know what? That's the problem within the black community. If the black community was, relinquish some of this, high moral, whatever they want to call it, or all this weirdness going on, a lot of people would be gay. Just let them be gay. We wouldn't have these issues. We wouldn't have all these men that's DL and in the closet and all the kind of things. And we have these issues because we act like, homosexuality is not a part of the black community. It's only somebody else. Everybody else is gay besides our community. It's ridiculous. Homosexuality has been around since man has been around.
It's only since the revivals in the late 1800s that it became a bad thing. Before that, it was acceptable.
Everywhere,
like
and Africa too, because you look at some of the ancient Egyptian drawings and things like that.
They had an island called Lesbos, or whatever.
I mean, it's just ridiculous the fact that we act like homosexuality is something that's immoral. It's not immoral.
But you're born gay. Check it out. All those great men, Alexander the Great, Charlemagne the Great, all them people back then, they were all flaming Cheetos.
If you look at some of the Egyptian pharaohs, they definitely had, male concubines, as well as female concubines. Homosexuality has been a part of human, the human species since humans has been on this earth. Let's just let it go. Let them be great.
It's in the animal kingdom.
It is.
Like Socrates, Plato, and all that. I forget which one of them said it. He said, well, to procreate, you need women. But that's all the only reason you need women. When you want to have fun, you get little boys. Hey, that's what they said back in the day. Mike Jones said Bomac said Spence was living paycheck to paycheck and said a drunk wasn't shit. Derek James never disrespected Bud. I got it.
Oh, let me tell.
Mike Jones. Derek James always disrespected Bud. You date Spence fans, Destiny? That was Mike Jones accent.
What?
Uh,
Do I hate Spence fans? No. Actually, a lot of Spence fans I get along with quite well. We just gonna disagree on boxing. But I don't hate. Why would I hate anybody like over some boxing? Like I talk shit or whatever, and I'd be like, "Oh yeah," but I
I
just
don't know
don't
if she
understand.
could date. I don't know if you could date a delusional, like some of them delusional.
See, I could never date like a Republican either. Like, yeah, no,
Man, me
things I'm
either.
not gonna do.
General Big Fish said, "Yep, he probably wear the same clothes every day." What you mean?
Shut the hell up, General Big Fish. That's my boo. See, General Big Fish, he's an asshole, but I love him. That's my babe.
So yeah, Mike Jones, Derek James. I always say attitude reflect leadership. I did not understand. I thought it was a big Texas thing. I have evolved in my assessment. First, I thought it was just the state of Texas, and then I said, no, it's. I always believe that attitude reflect leadership. And then when you start listening to Slow James a lot, as that's a term of endearment given to Derek James by Destiny.
Mm-hmm.
Slow
Very much a kind
James,
of endearment.
Slow James. When you listen to him and you see the visceral in which he talking about Terence Crawford, you realize that he's the leader, and that shit is seeping down into his fighters. Cause I'm gonna tell you, Errol Spence got in that ring believing them press clippings.
Yes, and so did that's why they didn't have a plan. Well, I don't know how many plans you can have with the Slow James and Spence because they've only fought one style
Mm-hmm.
because of what you know they his promotional company put in front of him. So
Mm-hmm.
he only know how to fight one style. He didn't know how to fight anybody else. Great counter punchers and stuff like that because he was never put in. I mean, although let me take that back. With Kell Brook, he was, but he was fighting a Kell Brook that was injured.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't fighting a healthy
Yeah,
Kell Brook.
but see, and they were good at projecting. That is one thing that the Spence team, but really Derek James being the leader, was good at projecting.
Mm-mm.
Like when he say, "Oh, he can't box, but Ugas can." He don't got no power. That was the
But Ugas do.
subpar opponents was weak, but Ugas got power because
And
he recognized
B,
Ugas had 12 knockouts, but he
but
don't
look,
recognize that Bud had 30.
let's be honest though, right, Miss T? To be honest, I never, and I tell my mother would tell you this from the moment I ever laid eyes on little buddy from the Philippines, the cat man, Capiao. I never thought he was great. I never thought he was. I honestly, I always thought he was pretty much subpar. And I wouldn't. I'm not lying to you, Miss T. I never thought this man was a great boxer. I never thought he was a great anything. I always thought he was subpar, and I always thought he fought fighters way beyond their time. Like when he finally fought the Golden Boy, right? Mayweather already beat the Golden Boy. Every time he fought somebody was after Mayweather beat their ass. He never fought nobody in their prime and looked spectacular against them, unless they were like already C grade fighters like Brandon Rios and
Thank
other
you.
worlds. Right? He was never this
But
dude.
Packroyd was overrated as fuck, bro.
Thank you, Tay. Thank you. He was
Packroyd
very.
was overrated
I
fight
would
ever.
never put this man in the top 10 of nothing. He's
Thank
not a GOAT.
thank
He's
you.
not the top
Thank you.
50 of all time greats. He's
Thank
not
you.
shit.
Thank you. You spitting facts. I was so upset, bro, because all these freaking packed cards like that man not even an 8 division world champion, bro. And
Mm.
people talk about his resume like he ain't get beat 8 times. Like he ain't people
Get knocked out
he
three,
fought
4 times.
Margashito after he got caught cheating. He fought Sugar Shane Mosley after Floyd already beat him. He fought who else he fought? He fought Marquez. He lost
Hold on.
every single time and got knocked sparked out. The judges couldn't save him no more.
He lost against Eric Morales the first
Yep.
fight, but then he came back on that good shit.
Yeah,
And then he was able to beat Eric Morales, which didn't make. How did you get your ass whipped from pillar to post for 12 rounds straight, and then come back and to knock out look and dominate him? So he
I
knocked
think
him out and dominated him.
I think he fought Kodo first.
No,
yeah, he
Before
not
fought
May.
every
Cotto first,
man.
but
No,
he
No,
weight
he
drained
fought.
Cotto.
No, he fought somebody before
He
Mayweather.
fought
You know,
Cotto
like
after he
all their
lost to
common opponents,
Margashito.
uh-huh,
all their common opponents. It was
uh-huh.
one
He
of
fought
them that
Cotto
he
after he
fought
lost to
first.
Margashito, Miss T.
Right, right. But I'm saying I think he got to him before Floyd
Yeah,
because the talk was you fighting Pacquiao leftovers. I was like, no,
thank
Pacquiao
you.
fighting his leftovers.
And he gets
Uh-huh.
credit for De La Hoya, and Mayweather doesn't, even though he fought a weight drained De La Hoya who never fought that weight class in like 8 years after Floyd
Right.
already beat him.
Mayweather
Like Pacquiao,
had to fight
Pacquiao,
Pacquiao. I mean, Mayweather had to fight Golden Boy at 154, and he was coming up from 130. What was it, 140? He was coming up from 140 to fight um De La Hoya at
He fought
154.
Wilder before.
Yeah,
If
154 was
we
what
talking about that, Floyd would have been undisputed if Wilder paid his sanctioning fees.
yes, and how Baldor paid his whatever his name was, Carlos Baldor.
Baltimore.
Valdemir, that
Yeah,
one.
if he would have paid his sanctioning fees, Floyd would be
And
undisputed.
shout out to Blue Blood for actually talking about that recently because I had totally forgot all about that. Like everybody says, oh yeah, Mayweather never, was undisputed. So, they trying to anything to shit on Mayweather's,
They hate him so
accomplishments.
much.
They really hate him.
What happened? Well, before you tell me what happened, Jerry came in and said, "Y'all tripping, Manny not great. Ignorance on display."
Man,
Okay, that's nice, sir.
that's
Moving
just
on.
like Terry.
But what happened? Mayweather didn't get the undisputed because of
Wilder didn't pay his fees. He didn't pay his sanctioning
Baltimore,
fees.
yeah, he didn't
Vladimir
pay
didn't pay his
the
sanctioning fees.
section of fees, but like when Blue Blood broke it down, it was because at the time, like he had just won the belts, and it was like, oh yeah, whatever, pay, or whatever. And Baltimore was like, man, fuck you, I just won these damn belts, and I got to pay again. I think you already paid the 3%, whatever it
Yeah.
was. They wanted him to pay again, and he was like, man, fuck you.
so
And
he
I
didn't
think
pay.
that's where Mayweather got that
So
whole, every time Mayweather would win a belt, he would drop it immediately. If
but
you
wait a minute,
notice,
but did Mayweather win the belts?
no,
Yeah, yeah.
because
No, no. He beat
Baltimore,
Valdemir, who
Baltimore, what the fuck little buddy name was,
Valdemir
never
had
paid
all
him.
the belts, right? But instead of paying the sanctioning fees to keep those belts, he dropped them. He didn't pay them. So then when Floyd beat him right after he won, he would have been undisputed if Valdemir would have paid his sanctioning fees.
Oh, but because he dropped the belts, Floyd
Yeah.
didn't fight an undisputed
You
fight.
when he didn't drop the belts, he said he was not gonna. He literally had just paid
Yeah,
it.
he didn't pay them. So like
Yeah, he
he
had
didn't
paid
pay
him. No, he did. He paid him at one point, like when he first got him, but they want him to pay again. It was
For
something weird
every
going
fight.
on with the
Yeah.
pay.
Well, what happens is you every time you go up to fight, you have to pay for them belts.
Yeah, that's what it was, right? I think that's what I think that's how Blue explained it. I mean, I was never into belts in the first place, to be honest, Miss T. Every time I wanted to see like a great fight,
Mhm.
and I knew like it was gonna be two greats, fighting each other, or at
Yeah,
least
who
good
cared about
opponents.
this?
I didn't give a fuck about what belts was on the line.
Mhm.
Honestly, that's because to be honest, I don't know what belt was on the line when Mayweather beat Zab Judah, or when Muhammad Ali beat Joe Frazier, or when
Wasn't
Mike
Zab
Tyson.
Judah wasn't Zab Judah undisputed as well?
Yeah,
Yeah, but he had lost.
three.
He
Yeah,
lost
in
to
the welterweight
Valdemir.
in the
He
three
lost to
belt era.
Valdemir.
In the three belt era, though,
Yeah,
but
he
not in the
lost to
four belt.
Valdemir too.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's how Vladimir got all the
Belt
belts.
was on the line when Roy Jones beat James Toney. Like I don't keep up with belts. Now I'm kind of keeping up with belts because I have to use this weaponry, to defend Bud against all these weird ass
Aerosexual
Spencerholics.
Canelo meat.
Yeah, these weird ass humans. So, because I
Yeah.
don't give a fuck about a belt. Like, I don't care nothing about that. Like, same thing I ain't never give a damn about who's putting asses in
Well,
seats and all that other kind of weird shit.
I'd rather judge the fighter. Yes,
Thank
it
you.
does. Hold on. It might be judging the fighter on whether they can sell and bring pay per view might matter to a certain degree, but making it a criteria as to say how best this fighter is comparatively to other fighters, or should they go to the Hall of Fame based on how much they sell? No, hell
Mhm.
no. That's why you got a Forbes list. You got other
Mhm,
shit you can put that shit on.
mhm.
That's why we gotta pay attention now. I get what you saying, Destiny. Like now, you gotta pay attention to the belts because these dudes coming like Tank. If Tank do not go for no championships, you will be
Tank
known
only known
only
for
in
beating
your era.
Mexicans. He could
Nobody
be with
gonna know
Donald
you
Trump.
past
He hates
this.
Mexicans.
No, I don't think he hates Mexicans because he loves cinnamon. No, I think is because Floyd Mayweather said this is your formula. This is how you're gonna make your most money. Is
Tank
fighting.
wanted money.
And
I
Mexicans
hear.
eat that
Did y'all
shit up,
ever
bro. They're
hear the
so
story?
stupid.
Did y'all ever hear the story when Tank? They said somebody was telling the story of how when he first was meeting Floyd, of course Floyd was finessing him, bringing him on the yacht with all the bitches around and
Yeah, I
showing
heard
them
that
that
story.
lifestyle. And they said Tank was in the corner crying real hard, like he said he want that life. He just wanted that rich bitch life. You know what I'm saying?
I
Some
can't
people
even.
want it
This is what
that
I'll
bad.
say. I can't even get mad at Tank because when we see guys like Mayweather and Devin Haney who go for legacy, these fans shit on them because they black. I
Hmm.
can't even blame Tank because he's saying fuck what y'all legacy shit. Because even if I do fight these guys, you're not gonna give me credit, so I might as well beat up a bunch of Mexicans.
But you
So I
can't
can't
let
even blame him
nobody
really.
you can't let no matter what the flavor of the month is, you can't deviate from credentials or what's
No,
recognized
no,
as
no. I get
credentials.
that. I
Cause
get
you
that.
cause I don't care what nobody say, we wouldn't be saying shit about Jack Johnson if he didn't beat everybody ass and he was the true champion. Look at what we say about Joe Lewis and how he was a champion, or Sugar Ray Robinson and how he was a
They
champion.
don't give those guys credit though.
So
They say Manny Pacquiao.
they do give them credit. The
Who?
problem, the world does, but the problem
Bro.
is, Tay, is when you look at the fact which Mayweather looked at the landscape before him, and what when I look at athletes, and I'm sure when he did, he probably was like, "What's the biggest problem athletes have today? Not just boxers. How the fuck do you let millions of dollars come across your desk and before you even my age, you broke as a bitch. Now I can't explain that shit.
Miss T,
Like,
but you know what? There's Mike Tyson's worth, at one point 400 million some dollars.
yeah,
And he blew it out. We don't even know. He don't even know what the fuck he blew it on. That's not my business. What you do with your money? How you? I mean, the way you make your money and what you do with your money is not my business. Because me as a fan, I don't give a fuck about. I never give. When I see, like going on YouTube and started, talking boxing or whatever. I was so surprised about like the whole conversation about the reason why Bud was a terrible fighter versus Spence is because of who he decided to sign a damn contract with. I don't give a fuck about none of that. I'm talking about
yeah,
skill for skill. That's what I was into. Let's talk about skill for skill. But I need to learn all these. I had to become a lawyer, a promoter, a man. I mean, an accountant, a manager. I had to become all these kind of weird things that has shit to do with boxing. As boxing, I mean, it has shit to do with boxing fans.
Hey
There was
mm-hmm.
Jerry.
some of these weird ass, YouTube channels. And I'm like, why the fuck are we discussing it? I never in my life. Me and my mother, we would watch boxing all the time, and we would argue with other people, like in real life, other humans in real life, and we never discussed about, well, Mayweather, he made $60 million, so I think it's only right Pacquiao make at least 50 million. We didn't give a fuck about none of that. We was talking about skill for skill. Who the fuck cares about how much money these 8-figure, 9-figure niggas is making? I don't give a fuck. I'm not getting none of that money. I'm only contributing to you making that kind of money. The fuck are we talking about? Like that has nothing to do with boxing, to be honest. That's between now you want to talk about the politics of boxing, why fights are not happening, then that's fine. We can talk about the politics of boxing, the reason why some fights don't happen. And the big suits, again, did not want Spence to fight Bud because they knew, and I think it actually came from Mayweather, to be honest.
I
They
bet you.
knew
I bet you.
Errol Spence could never beat a Bud.
Yeah,
And I
because
think
the
That's why
Mexican.
Mayweather always said Terence Crawford was pound for pound number one. He never once said it was Errol Spence. Never once. He always said it was Bud. And because Mayweather saw himself in Bud, and
Mhm.
that's exactly what it was. And I'm pretty sure he was putting dropping all kind of jewels in Al Heyman's ear and Steven Espinoza, because they said after the fight, Steven Espinoza, somebody
He's
interviewed him
depressed.
or asked him a question, and he was like, yeah, they say he left all sad, pretty much tears in his eyes, saying that the fight didn't go the way he wanted. He
Would you
wanted it
want
to
me
go.
to
But then,
aerospace? Aerospace.
but you gotta, let me tell you, but he did
Lost
develop a relationship with
aerospace. He was cooked by Crawford.
but he did develop a relationship with him though, Tay. So you can't, just be mean like that.
Hey,
They
yeah.
did develop a relationship with Errol Spence, and but I do find it kind of weird. Why would Spence get another, management company on top of, you
Because
know,
he needed some extra. He needed some representation that's not
But
beholden
when
to
Al
other
Hammond was
folks.
giving him them
Hey,
slaps
these
and
were the
pulling his
extra
pants
two
down and
added
spanking
to
him.
the collection. So y'all know it's time for me to play the commercial.
oh, go ahead, sis.
Hold on. Thank you for watching the commercial. Ah,
You know what you should have put on that? I get access. It
yeah.
should have been I get pause and active, because he said y'all already know, y'all already know I get active. You
I
should have
think.
been like pause and then active.
I told you.
Yeah. I didn't hear him curse. What you mean by pause? Like
I'm
some
not talking to
dashes?
them.
Yeah, he paused before he said active.
'Cause
He said I
he
get,
quick.
and then he hit that thing twice, the podium, and then he said active.
I
Huh.
was
Yeah,
I was struggling with the gets or get.
it should
That's
be
the one.
gets.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
should have been gets.
With an
He was
S.
like, huh, y'all already know I get
Uh, yeah,
active.
but I said I get active. I'm trying. I don't know. I was struggling with the S. But
Hmm.
this one right here, I love this one. Tay, you done dropped off. Can you read what that says? Can you see it?
Mm. No, I don't know what
It
it says.
said it said my social battery today, and it has the battery going to heaven like that.
Oh, okay. I don't get it.
Girl, it's the funniest shit some young person ever told me. It was my daughter to be exact. So her her fiance, he's a regular guy, I guess, but he not like he not loud and all gotta be all in the video type dude.
Okay, he ain't
So
P. Diddy.
yeah, so he yeah, nah, he ain't did it. So one day he was talking to me like a lot more than he
Mm-hmm,
normally do. So whenever he's like really conversating, I be like,
mm-hmm,
oh, okay, and I get into it with him. But just abruptly as he got into it, he abruptly stopped. And then he just it was like on the dime. It won't no transition or nothing like that. He just abruptly stopped and then he walked away. And I looked at him and I looked at my daughter and she said, his social battery died. I died laughing. I'm about to fall out the chair. Cause at first I didn't get it. And I was like, oh, okay, I get it. I get it. Cause most people are not social. The introverts or whatever, they don't really talk to people. They're not talkers. And
mm-hmm.
so he's saying they might be on the social battery when they do talk, but their social battery is limited. Like my social battery, I got an Everlast joint. You know what I'm saying? I got the Tesla battery.
Mm-hmm.
I can go forever. But not him. And then this one right here, this is me right here. If I
Oh,
had like
well.
let's say I had to go to work or if I had to work with children or something, I'd be like, you
Oh,
see this?
ATL just showed up, Miss T. ATL, come join the panel. We were just talking about your black ass. Well, we wasn't just talking. We talked about you earlier. But anyways,
ATL, what's up?
Jerry,
What's poppin'?
you have so much to say, and you're always aiming it at me. Please feel free to join the panel, Mr. Man,
Hey,
Mr. White Man.
Jerry, I open the phones so you can call. I think the phone might be working. I think I fixed it,
You
Jerry.
are more welcome to do
I'm,
whatever you need. You feel like you need to do, Mr. Jerry, Mr. White Man, Mr. Colonizer. You're welcome to join since you have so much to say. Every time I say something, you have something to say. Come talk to me. Let's converse. Let's be some adults and let's converse. Because when I gather your ass together and I dispense your ass like pennies, you're gonna be mad. You're welcome.
damn.
Mm. You're only good for typing instead of talking. You're fucking welcome.
ATL, what it do? Where you been?
ATL Shouty.
Where you
I'm
been?
trying, I'm trying to get off YouTube so my shit won't be echoing and shit.
Yeah, you get off goddamn YouTubes or just turn your volume on mute. You're welcome. That just learned you something. You owe me $10.
Y'all make sure y'all hit that like button.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all be tripping.
Please smash that like button.
You know what's crazy? I still be telling y'all to do all that. But for some reason, YouTube do not count my views. I can't
Yeah,
get
you're
I can't I can't get qualified. I can't meet those requirements. They haven't done it in over a year and a half.
you're over 500 where you're supposed to be able to, I think,
No,
monetize.
no,
I
no,
think we.
no. You got to get 1,000 subscribers, but you have to have 4,000 hour views. I was
Oh,
in my first year under before I hit a year. I
uh-huh.
was at 3,700 views, and one day they just chopped that shit off and took me to
Yo,
2,700. Then it took me to 2,400, and they stopped counting. I
Right?
don't know why.
You need to write to the YouTube people like you said you
I
did
did.
before.
I did. I've done it
Well, I would write their
two
ass
or
every
three
day.
times, and I'm
I would
just
write
happy
their
they.
ass every day then. And I would just like, copy and paste the damn message
Mm.
every day until they respond.
Jared said not every time. He said put the number so I can get that ass. Jared,
Pause
it's
and hard
scrolling at
pause.
it's
I
scrolling.
I
Jared,
don't, I'm
look,
not
there
into
it
that
go.
European shit. I don't do none of that anal shit. I know that's for y'all Europeans. That's what y'all like. But over here, don't do that. You're welcome, Mr. Jerry.
Jerry, are you with us?
I don't deal with emotional humans.
Hey, can y'all hear Jerry?
No.
Nope.
Jerry, start talking. Just start talking. I can hear you. Can and then I'm gonna see. Jerry, can you hear me? Jerry, can you hear me? It's crazy because I can hear you, Jerry.
I can't
I
hear that.
I cannot hear a goddamn thing. I hear like somebody talking, kind
Hmm.
of like distant whisper kind of thing.
I, I just heard a reverb. Somebody listening to it on that thing. I do not. Let me see. Hold on, Jerry. Don't hang up yet.
He
Simple.
just needs to join the panel.
Jerry, say testing 1 2 3. Y'all didn't hear him say nothing.
No.
Okay, hold on. Jerry, say something again. Ooh.
Just join the panel, Jerry. Please do. You're more I mean, Miss T always welcomes everybody to the panel. So just join the panel.
I don't know what to tell you, Jerry.
Because I'm gonna
I got
disperse your ass like you fucking cockroaches. So please join the panel, Mr.
oh
Death.
shit, Jerry. Jerry, hit the link now.
Hmm. But anyways,
That way,
ATL, how
yeah.
did you ever feel about Cappy Al? Did you ever think like he was this great fighter that he was, he's like legendary and all these other kind of weird things that they claim? Oh damn, what happened to ATL? Miss T, what did you do to
Oh,
ATL?
I don't know what happened to him. He fell off. I don't know.
I'm surprised General Big Fish ain't bring his tall, lanky ass up here to talk some stuff.
6'6".
Mm.
You talking about 6'6"?
Yes, Mr. Extra tall. Miss T, that's right up your
Listen.
alley though. You like them damn beanstalks. What was the giant and the beanstalk? What was it? What's his name? The giant? What the whatever.
Jerry hung up, y'all. I don't know what to tell y'all. That phone line was working. I cannot find the problem. I hear him in my mic. I can hear him over here. You guys can't hear him, and I don't know why. And I don't know how to fix that. I've
But Miss
tried
T, the
everything.
funny thing is, he's been on your panel before with me
Mhm.
on your panel. So I don't know why he act like he can't just, log on.
But Jerry is old school. That's what it is. Jerry
He
is
No,
old
old
school.
school. He still got AT&T phone line.
first of
See,
all,
Landline.
motherfucker,
dial
first of all, don't come for me if I ain't
Hey,
saying
He got
shit.
T.
landline,
You
goddamn.
got the landline, the dial up,
Okay, well, that's a different thing.
Oh, you
Mm.
got the
AOL.
landline too, Disney?
No, hell no, I ain't got no L.
Yes,
No,
you do. You
yeah.
said landline.
No, I don't have no landline, but I do have AT&T. But that's only
Hey,
because
Miss T.
It was up.
Definitely be in the house like, Lil' Kim, call me.
I don't
Just
know that song.
call
See, Jerry, you
me.
gonna try to call again? Let's see.
No,
Look at them Cherokee Indian boys smiling.
AT&T song right
Jerry, can you
on
hear
my.
me? J- can you hear me, Jerry?
Jerry gonna talk to your ass for an hour. Yeah, I can hear Miss T. But let me tell you, Roy Jones and Tim Bradley back in the day, they were bad motherfuckers. And then when they came into the game, could nobody fuck with them, Miss T. You know, and
Jerry,
You right
Jerry
though.
gonna talk to
Jerry,
you for an
I don't
hour.
know. I probably have to listen. Honest to God,
Nice
I
meeting
probably
you.
have to get rid of that number and just give me another new number. It could be the way
Another
that
new
my
one.
mixer is routing things. I don't know the problem, and so it's hard for me to fix it
Hey,
unless I bring a tech over here.
I hopped on this shit right because y'all know I've been working hard as hell. I've been going through some life shit, but
I'm sorry.
I'm just now getting back on my shit and shit. But I just heard today, what the fuck Bomac get locked up for?
Some gun BS. I don't believe he supposedly he had, well, not supposedly, well, he had a gun that was
Fully
loaded,
loaded.
fully loaded with
Nah,
some ammunition. With some
nah,
ammunition.
that don't sound right.
We already been to. We been to.
Yeah, we
Cause
just went through all
how
that.
you get from the US to UK with a pistol?
We
And no,
see
no,
we
not
asked
just
all.
any pistol.
We saying they
Fully,
set up. We just don't know who set them up.
You can't
Who
travel
fully.
who
from the
set
US
them
to
up?
the UK with a pistol. You
You
wouldn't even
can't.
think about going there with a pistol. Like so, that's some other shit.
Yes,
You're not getting through Atlanta airport without with
but
a pistol.
ATL and Miss T though, it's not just a pistol. It's fully loaded. All the bullets is in
Hmm.
there. If it depends on what kind of gun it is, so he already got one in the chamber. If it's like a millimeter or a 40,
Hmm.
it's 16 with one in the chamber, so 17 bullets and and extra ammunition. What the fuck
Uh,
is he planning on taking down a prime minister?
Yeah, he
Like
going
what
down.
is he planning on
listen.
doing?
That's two charges over there. You
He
can get a
going down.
charge. You can get a charge for having ammunition.
It's
You can
five
have
years
a
straight
charge
for a
for
gun in the UK.
on the gun. But yeah, but listen, I think the powers that be is gonna work. Like she said, they're gonna work out. I think he gonna stay there till October till his court date. But I think the powers that be, some people, big knobs over here in America, gonna talk to the big knobs over there in England to
Woo!
make sure
Joe Biden.
ain't nobody's sentiments is hurt. Because it don't make sense. You cannot square that. That man, 53 years old, he would not have gotten on no plane to travel. If they don't catch the plane to go to Colorado, you know why? Because they come there with all that shit. I'm sure them niggas be strapped. Because most men are strapped. Trust me, I had to learn the hard way. Like, damn, nigga, you came up in my house all these years with a gun. He said, I ain't never without my gun. I didn't know that about men. But most dudes are strapped. So when they
Mhm.
left Colorado, when they left for Colorado, they drove down. When they drove back to Colorado to Omaha, then they flew down. They ain't bring no guns when they flew down. If you
Where the
have the
bag at?
cognitive
Oh, come on.
mind to not do that shit, to fly across the states, getting on the plane with a gun, you will have that same mind not to fly to another country. And plus, like that's an he said, you made it through regular TSA, customs on our side, customs on their side, and regular TSA on their side with your gun. Because what you cannot sell is that Bomac got to England and went and got and copped him a gun. You cannot sell that.
It wouldn't even make sense for him to go over there when he's only over there for 4 weeks. You saw him when he was coming his bodyguard, so you know he has bodyguards. But he's doing all these weird things. I don't. What would be the point of him even bringing a gun over there? Or by, I know somebody said that supposedly he was robbed and whatever, multiple whatever.
I
But
didn't know
with
he
that
was over
being
there
said,
that long. I didn't think he was over there that long.
oh yeah, it probably wasn't 4 weeks, huh? Because the
He
fight
wasn't over
between
there. He was in the States not that long ago.
well, he was over there in England for a minute. I'm not sure if he left right after the Spence versus Bud fight.
When they did that interview with him and they was asking him about the rematch,
Uh-huh.
which was either a day or two before the 29th, the last day, and Bomac was saying he didn't know. I don't think he was over there when they asked him that. I think he was in the States because it looked like his B&B gym that he was in. I could be wrong, but I think he was in the States. I think he went over there last minute. I don't know if Chris Eubanks was. I'm assuming he trained over here. Excuse me, in the States.
They say Callie and Smith was he's still in dealings with Shanahan, whatever the hell that nigga is.
Canahan. Yeah, Canahan. It could
And then
be.
this rumor that I heard, and then that Crawford and them had a bad fallout about the BLK shit. That
Could
is the
be.
rumor.
It could be. It could be a lot of things. The
And
point
they set
is,
and they set Bomac up.
how do you hurt Crawford? You hurt him through his team, or you hurt him through him. And so Crawford need his whole team until Crawford retire. They don't need to go out the country no more. That's how I
Um.
look at it.
Well, to that point though, ATO, what if you just said something? Yeah, you people, you just said talking about Bomac. Damn, I lost my train of thought.
Yeah.
You said supposedly he um well no, that's what you said, like, last minute. I'm sorry, I was gonna respond to Miss T. No, um I mean everything that was written said that Bomac he's been over there for the last 4 weeks for
Yeah.
kind of
Chris Eubank.
for Chris Eubanks, yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's what they said.
I didn't
Look
even
what
know
he
he
did
was
in 4 weeks.
coaching Chris Eubanks. I didn't know that till today.
You said what?
I didn't know that he was
The trainer?
yeah, till today. I ain't even know.
Yeah.
Look at
Somebody
that.
pointed out though, like I can't remember who it was. Somebody pointed out the fact though, like just because he trade, trainers or whatever, and if you are successful, it doesn't mean that you're going to go on to be successful with every other fight.
Yeah.
The being is because you have developed bad habits, whatever the habits was that you developed, to help cause you lose the fight. You don't muscle memory, like Miss T said one day on her channel, is a motherfucker. It's gonna fuck you every every which way but loose.
Hey,
And that's just
Jared. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I thought you was in. Jared said more crazy talk. Nobody set him up.
okay.
That's what you believe, Jared. I believe something different. I believe that man is intelligent. Like, I'm not one of them black people that, you know how they say, he reached for my gun? ATL, when cops used to say that? They say it in every state of the union. When they kill an unarmed black guy, they be like, well, he reached for my gun. And I be sitting here thinking, like, once you use that lie to justify killing somebody unarmed, you think no black people in America heard that lie and said, I better stand still. I better put my hand 10-2 on the steering wheel. That's how I look at this situation. I'm not calling racism or nothing. I'm just saying that dude know if he can't travel on a plane with his guns in America, then
Why would
what
he go to
makes
the
he
fucking
think?
UK?
Yeah, what make you think he gonna think he can travel over there with them? If he
That's what
can't,
I'm saying.
if he driving to Colorado, because I know they drove because they were strapped. What makes you think this dude gonna take a chance to take a gun over there? How do you explain shooting somebody over there? And they don't even allow guns. Like
And that's
talking.
why I said that's why the rumor I heard was bad that them and old boy they looking for had a bad relationship or a bad business deal or something. And so that's part of what happened. It was a setup.
And that's not even true. He never had a bad business deal. He went to Dubai. He spoke with Canahan to see what he could do for his, boxing career. And apparently, it wasn't what he was looking for, and they left on good terms. Now, can Callahan be petty and, try to, because he walked away from whatever deal, Canahan was offering?
Is
I don't know.
Canahan
I don't know much about Canahan or whatever little buddy name is.
is
So he could be.
Canahan used to muscling his way in people's stuff like a Fleece Johnson? Is he used to saying, I like you and I'm going to
Well, he used to say
represent you?
I like you
I
and I
don't know.
want you.
Listen,
And I
I
want
don't
you.
know. I don't know. But I know that was one of them Bud narratives that he was in bed with Canahan for years. And y'all kept pumping that
I
shit.
ain't
When I
never
say
heard that.
y'all, when
I
I
ain't never
say
heard that.
y'all,
So you can't say y'all.
man, come on. Nah, no,
I ain't never heard that. Like, come on, Miss T, don't
dude,
do me like that.
dude, dude. When
I
I
ain't never
say
heard no gay ass shit like that.
if you let me get it out, you will hear what I'm talking about. When I say y'all, I'm talking about Spence heavily favored channels. And I like my boy Drew Titan, but he was one of them. And I like Drew Titan, but he was pumping that a lot too, and angrily pumping that. And other channels in the LWC kept saying he was associated or affiliated with Daniel
Okay.
Canahan.
Well, what they got to do with
So
me?
but I ain't saying you. I'm not saying
Oh,
you.
okay. That's what I was
When
saying.
I say y'all, I'm meaning Spence fans. And we all know that
But
there's
still not
Spence
me.
fans There's Spence fans and then there's Spence sexuals. So anybody trying to draw the line with Canahan to Bud, to me, I call them sexuals. They
Miss T.
sexuals because they have no proof. It's just like Destiny said. They could have met up. Canahan talked to a lot of Bob Arum's fighters because guess what? Bob and Canahan was tight.
No, but Miss T. Bud came
Mm-hmm.
out his own mouth and said, yeah, he went over there and talked to Canahan about some business. But he didn't say like it wasn't hitting for the 10 or this was not what I'm looking for.
Yeah, I'm
But
trying to say.
I mean, but we know he
Yeah.
came back to America and then he just went on to do his own thing.
He did, yeah, he never had. If Bud won't get in bed with Mayweather, why would he then get in bed with Canahan? But a lot of people like to think that because remember, that was one of the so-called factual reasons them Spence channels was saying why the fight couldn't get made before, because Canahan was in Bud. They had to make sure Bud ain't. Come on now. If the government thought Bud was tied in with that nigga and they would know everything, they would have been got it Bud ass. They wouldn't have spared him. Jared said several fighters from Top Rank were involved with Shanahan. There is Canahan, Jerry. He said there's an A-list. Crawford is on that list. How involved he was, I don't know. They probably all, again, like you said, from Top Rank. Bob and Canahan was cool,
Hmm.
from my understanding. Warren was cool with Canahan. Matchroom was cool with Canahan. I think Oscar was cool with Canahan. And maybe even PBC was cool with Canahan. They all were cool with Canahan. But once Canahan became public enemy number one, everybody want to treat him like a wet food stamp.
Nah, he's still out here.
He not he's somewhere.
He's still out
He's,
here setting up shit.
man, turn that thing off. What is that? The police?
My fault. My fault.
Yeah.
He's still out here setting up shit.
Yeah, but he not somewhere where he's in I think the Middle East. They said
He
he
ain't
ain't
got to be
coming.
there. His money can go wherever he want to go.
Yeah, but he can't be face to face with nobody. He could set up shit and do some whatever, but I'm not gonna draw that kind of line. I do think that Bomac was set up, but if Bomac, and I gave the wiggle room, Bomac could have had one of them luggages from when he was down there in Colorado, and when they brought all their stuff back, he didn't unpack it. Cause I know I do that. I come home from a trip. Sometimes I don't even unpack the suitcase till a week or two later. He could have grabbed that suitcase, got on the plane, dereliction of duty in the Atlanta airport, all the way dereliction of duty to wherever they land in England if he brought that gun with him. But what I will tell you, there's no way in hell that I would ever be convinced that Bomac copped the gun in UK. No way.
He popped the
That
cheeseburger.
gun,
I believe that.
that gun had to come with him. And if it did, how did it miss 2 customs and 2 TSAs? For the life of me, I wouldn't know why.
That's
So
very strange.
that's strange, yeah. And
And
Bomac,
honestly, Miss T, how would have missed Bomac though? At some point, if you're over there for 4 weeks, at some point you got to pop open that damn suitcase. So how did they miss him unless he had like a secret compartment or something weird?
yeah, he could have had it stashed in one of the inside pockets. Jared said lots of people were. Some still are. The fighters probably did not know. Yeah, a lot of fighters didn't know how crooked this nigga is. They didn't know that the Department of Treasury and the United States government was going to be like, yo, we put a bounty on that dude head. They didn't know about Interpol and all that. All they know is the guy who runs the promotional company they signed under said that he's a good guy. He's a cool guy. So they was trying to make something happen with their career, getting connected with whomever. But that's why the United States government shot the warning across the bow and was like, look, anybody got some dealings with him, I suggest you end all ties and walk away. It's not like Daniel Canahan can come back and sue you for breach of contract. you got to come to the States. And that shit ain't going to be honored anyway, because the United States government told you to sever ties. So everybody severed ties, except some people. Who didn't? Josh Taylor didn't. But I guess Josh Taylor had to get it together, because y'all know he just fought T.O. But for a minute, he was on that hit list. Fury didn't. Fury was like, fuck y'all, I'm cool with him. Mauricio Sulaiman. Remember, Mauricio Sulaiman was supposed to move WBC headquarters to Houston. What happened with that? Yeah, because he in some hot water too. So he refused to renounce Daniel Canahan. Bob Arum denounced him real quick, even though Bob Arum and him was cool. He was at all the parties, all in the videos, and Bob was like, this is my dude right here. So, I mean, and the government understand that a lot of people were inadvertently caught up with him, because this man, according to them, I don't know this, allegedly, was using boxing to clean his money. He was the El Chapo of Europe. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, but to basically say Bud was in bed with this dude, this is crazy. I hadn't heard it all. I was like, that's crazy. I don't even know how people reach like that. But in the end of the day, Destiny fell off. In the end of the day, to shorten this up and end this, dude, you know, once he had the bounty put on his head, because it's $5 million for each person, him, his brother, or his daddy, or $15 million for all three. And that's what the United States government is doing. And you know, once they do some shit like that, they're gonna freeze all assets and bank accounts. So he'll be smart not to spend no money over here or get tied up in such a way that America can shut some shit down. So I mean, I heard he was in the Middle East. I don't know where he at. You know, that's what the, you know, word on the street is. He over there somewhere. He's not in his home country, because Interpol is looking for him too. And he would, you know, they could scoop him up there too. But there's a lot of boxing people, you know. Boxing happened to be one of those venues that he liked, you know. He might be a criminal, but he likes boxing. So this man, he tried to clean his money through boxing, and that was a big no-no. And so they was like, anybody, they absolutely gave everybody in boxing a chance, if you was inadvertently caught up with this guy, to sever your ties. So yes, it could be a whole lot of people. I don't blame Bob. If PBC was with him, I don't blame them. I give everybody the benefit of the doubt. You ain't a fortune teller. You don't know what kind of charges this dude was fixing to face. So nobody knew until they knew. It's not like they knew his business and his whereabouts. Not like he broke down. Y'all act like every time he talked to somebody, he telling them that his every play, his bank accounts, how he getting money, how he getting over, his hustle, his game. He was never doing that. So, you know, that's how I look at it. But I'm gonna do this one more again. So look, y'all look at your screen. Stay tuned for this commercial. Hey, head over to AskMeT51.com. AskMeT51.com and shop till you drop. Get in on it. I got some nice things over there. Some gadgets and gadgets. I'm getting great feedback. And sometimes the shirts, they're made specifically when you order them. So sometimes it could take anywhere from, I think the quickest somebody got delivered was 2 days. Um, and the longest probably was 8. But it depends on how much they got in front of you of orders they got to fill, plus your location in the country. And how quickly it can get to them. So, it's like a first come, first serve, but it's specifically made for you. One of a kind. So go to AskMeT51.com and shop till you drop. There's a lot of cool things over there, some gadgets and everything. We got some spy cameras, printers. We even got some Christmas stuff over there, and I'm gonna be adding stuff there all the time. And y'all see the lovely t-shirts. And you ain't gonna find them in no store. But anyway, in my Pamela James voice, peace.